Chapter 502. I'm finally out. After completely refining the 9 nether golden orchid, Mo Fengyun had comprehended the Tao of darkness to the 4th heavenly layer. When he sensed Yi Qinfeng's aura, he immediately opened his eyes. The Jin Qing dragon bloodlion, who was hiding in the distance and watching Mo Fengyun vigilantly, immediately noticed Yi Qinfeng. Thinking about how Mo Fengyun's strength had been constantly increasing over the past few days, the Jin Qing dragon bloodlion couldn't help but worry about Yi Qinfeng. "Brat, you're surprising me more and more. I didn't expect that the scheme I spent years scheming would end up helping you in the end." Sensing that Yi Qinfeng had broken through to the peak of the 3rd heavenly layer, Mo Fengyun was certain that Yi Qinfeng had inherited the devil god's inheritance and obtained everything he wanted. All his hard work had been for nothing. However, even if you obtained the most precious opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm, it's useless. I won't let you leave here alive. Mo Fengyun released a powerful baleful aura as he glared at Yi Qinfeng. "If you want to kill me, then come. I want to see if it's you who dies today." Yi Qinfeng's lips curled up slightly, revealing an arrogant and tyrannical smile. He held the sharp king armament in his hand and pointed it at Yi Qinfeng as he spoke fearlessly. "Die!" Mo Fengyun shouted. His entire body turned into a streak of darkness. He held a supreme-grade heavenly spear in his hand and pierced towards Yi Qinfeng. Dragon Bloodline Ignition. Beast Soul Form. 5 million Jin of power. Mo Fengyun thrust his spear forward. Yi Qinfeng didn't hesitate to use all of his trump cards. A powerful dragon energy gushed out from his body, and in the blink of an eye blood-red dragon scales covered his entire body. He transformed into a half-human half-dragon form and raised his king armament to meet Mo Fengyun. Buzz! When the tip of the spear and the tip of the sword came into contact with each other, a dense halo of energy immediately surged out, causing dense energy ripples to appear in space. Although Mo Fengyun's spear was extremely powerful, Yi Qinfeng's physical strength had reached 6 million Jin under the amplification of his beast soul form. That terrifying strength fused with his dragon energy and forcibly blocked Mo Fengyun's attack. What powerful strength! Just what kind of inheritance did he obtain? Why is his physical strength so much greater than mine? Furthermore, he can transform into a beast soul form at the reverse beast king realm. Sensing the backlash from the black spear, Mo Fengyun raised his brows in shock. He was shocked by Yi Qinfeng's physical strength and heaven-defying trump cards. But the more Yi Qinfeng's performance, the more he was determined Mo Fengyun's plan to kill him and take everything from him. He would never allow such a potential threat to continue growing. Once Yi Qinfeng had enough time to grow, he completely believed that Yi Qinfeng would definitely grow to a height that he could only look up to. At that time, what awaited him and the Western Devil sect would be destruction. Beast soul form. In a flash, the Gold Eyes Fiend Python image appeared on his body. A large amount of black scales covered his body. In order to kill Yi Qinfeng, Mo Fengyun didn't hold back. He transformed into his strongest beast soul form, greatly increasing his strength and attack power. Great Demon Slaying Dragon Blade. The half-snake half-human Mo Fengyun roared. A high-grade heaven artifact, the Sky Blood Devil Saber, appeared in his hand. 20 saber Tao patterns flew out and slashed at Yi Qinfeng like a demonic dragon. It was as though it was going to split the heavens and earth. It slashed at Yi Qinfeng from a very close distance. Sword Puppet. Mo Fengyun's great demon-slaying dragon blade was extremely powerful. Even with Yi Qinfeng's near-supreme grade heaven artifact body, he didn't dare to take it head-on. He quickly summoned the sword puppet to block. Bang! A deafening explosion echoed. After blocking the great demon-slaying dragon blade head-on, dazzling sparks flew from the sword puppet's body. However, the terrifying attack didn't injure it at all. Primordial Chaos Roar. The primordial chaos divine beast, which had been waiting for an opportunity, attacked. A terrifying sound wave distorted the space and blasted at Mo Fengyun. It wanted to injure his soul spirit and slow down his reaction speed. This would create an excellent opportunity for Yi Qinfeng to attack. Dark Dao Intent Defense. At the crucial moment, 40 dark Dao patterns flew out of Mo Fengyun's body and quickly formed a devouring vortex in front of him. It distorted the space and blocked the attack of the primordial chaos roar. Dark Dao Intent, Fourth Heaven. Looking at the 40 dark Dao patterns that gushed out of Mo Fengyun's body, Yi Qinfeng's pupils immediately contracted into the most dangerous pinholes. His face revealed a trace of seriousness. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. After a short moment of shock, the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, which was almost a Dao treasure, flew out of Yi Qinfeng's body. It was like a scorching hot meteorite and crashed into the devouring vortex formed by the 40 dark Dao patterns. Crack! Crack! After being hit by the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, a large number of dark Dao patterns cracked. Crisscrossing cracks appeared on the rapidly spinning vortex. Dark Shadow Hand. The devouring vortex was faintly unable to withstand the attack of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. Mo Fengyun decisively counterattacked. The dark Dao patterns and the shadow Dao patterns fused together and formed a huge hand that covered the sky. It was like a mountain pressing down on Yi Qinfeng. Heartless heavenly Dao break. After condensing the fourth spiritual pearl, Yi Qinfeng's spiritual body's endurance had greatly increased. He did not hesitate to condense 5 heaven Dao patterns, forming a heavenly might that could shake the heavens and earth, and blasted it out. Boom! When the two attacks collided, there was an earth-shattering explosion. The terrifying energy annihilated everything, and a large number of cracks appeared in the fragile space. Slash. The sword puppet was engulfed in the destructive storm, but it was not affected at all. It turned into a sword and slashed out an invincible sword prowess. It traversed the void and slashed at Mo Fengyun. Bang! Mo Fengyun held a supreme-grade heaven artifact spear and quickly blocked in front of him. He took the sword puppet's sword prowess head-on. However, the powerful rebounding force cracked the cracks that covered his body. The blood in his body churned violently, and his body was uncontrollably pushed back. Dragon Bloodline Ignition, Power of the Dragon. When Mo Fengyun was pushed back by the sword puppet, the Golden Dragon Bloodlion also burned its dragon bloodline and launched an attack. It wanted to gather everyone's strength to severely injure Mo Fengyun. Shadow Dao Intent. After being attacked continuously, Mo Fengyun immediately executed his Shadow Dao Intent. In an extremely short period of time, he transformed into multiple shadows and dodged the Golden Dragon Bloodlion's attack. Flaming Dragon Annihilation, 9 Dragon Sword Slash. The moment Mo Fengyun dodged with all his might, 4 Dao Intents gushed out of Yi Qinfeng's body and turned into 9 murderous flaming dragons. They sealed off the space that Mo Fengyun could dodge and launched a fatal attack at him. 10 Directions Heavenly Demon Slash. As the 9 flaming dragons slashed over, Mo Fengyun immediately executed his ultimate move. The Dark Dao pattern and the Saber Dao pattern quickly merged and formed the 10 Directions Heavenly Demon Slash. It directly tore apart the 9 dragons slash and continued to slash at Yi Qinfeng. However, before the 10 Directions Heavenly Demon Slash could hit Yi Qinfeng, the sword puppet quickly blocked the path of the 10 Directions Heavenly Demon Slash. It used its indestructible body to block the attack. Kid, you have helpers, but so do I. Today, you will definitely die. After his attacks were continuously blocked by the sword puppet, Mo Fengyun no longer held back and quickly took out a crystal-like stone. In the next moment, a powerful aura was emitted from the crystal corpse. A crimson bat flew out. It had huge fleshy wings that covered the sky, sharp teeth, and a disgusting blood tumor on its head. It stirred up a hurricane in the air. Level 8 Heavenly Beast. Feeling the terrifying aura from the crimson bat, Yi Qinfeng's expression changed slightly. He did not expect Mo Fengyun to have actually subdued a level 8 heavenly beast. The situation was also reversed because of the appearance of this level 8 heavenly beast. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 503. Master, that crimson bloodbat is one of the heavenly beasts that Old Master subdued in the heavenly region. It has a very powerful bloodline and is proficient in sound wave attack. Its attack power is very strong. I didn't expect that person to have the ability to subdue it. When Yi Chunfeng saw the crimson bloodbat, his expression turned serious. Jin Qing Dragon Blood Lion immediately recognized it and told Yi Chunfeng about it. Level 8 Heavenly Beast, Crimson Bloodbat. A level 8 Heavenly Beast was equivalent to a level 3 Combat Beast Emperor. Furthermore, this level 8 Heavenly Beast, Crimson Bloodbat, was from the heavenly region. Yi Chunfeng's expression turned even more serious. Originally, his strength was far from Mo Fengyun's. Now that Mo Fengyun had the help of the Crimson Bloodbat, Yi Chunfeng's situation became even more dangerous. Crimson Bloodbat, let's kill them together. Mo Fengyun suppressed the surging blood in his body and gave the order with killing intent. Tisk tisk. Hearing Mo Fengyun's order, the crimson bloodbat quickly flapped its blood-red wings, creating a hurricane. It turned into a blood-red shadow and attacked Yi Chunfeng with extreme speed. Hun Dun, you and the sword puppet deal with the crimson bloodbat. The dragon blood lion and I will deal with Mo Fengyun. The crimson bloodbat was a greater threat to Yi Chunfeng. He immediately summoned the Chaos Divine Beast and ordered it to attack the Crimson Blood Bat together with the Sword Puppet. Primordial Chaos Roar. Taking the risk to approach the Crimson Blood Bat, the Chaos Divine Beast immediately expanded its soul and released an earth-shattering roar towards the Crimson Blood Bat. Facing the Chaos Divine Beast's roar attack, the Crimson Blood Bat immediately opened its mouth full of fangs and released a high-frequency sound wave to counterattack. The two powerful sound waves clashed together, creating a boundless wind and waves. It was as if they could topple the mountains and overturn the seas in the red cloud space, causing a large area of space to ripple. Enduring the attack of the sound waves, the sword spirit puppet turned into a sword and tore through the sound wave. It approached the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat at an extremely fast speed. Waves of terrifying sword might intertwined and attacked the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat continuously. After fusing with a large amount of top and high soul crystals, the sword puppet's attack power was comparable to a rank 1 Peak Beast Emperor. However, the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat was comparable to a rank 3 Peak Beast Emperor. Relying on its powerful bloodline power, it was able to completely resist the sword puppet's attack. However, the sword puppet's body was indestructible. The Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat's ferocious attacks were unable to damage its body. He was a threat to him. Under the sword puppet's burning soul crystal and the Chaos Divine Beast's all-out attack, the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat was trapped. It couldn't break through their blockade and attack Yi Chunfeng. Without that puppet, let's see how you're going to fight me. With that, Mo Fengyun roared and launched a fierce attack at Yi Chunfeng with the Heavenly Blood Devil Saber and the Heavenly Blood Devil Saber. He wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to kill him. Black Wheel of Death. When he got close to Yi Chunfeng, 40 Dao of Darkness shot out from his body and instantly transformed into pitch-black wheels. They gave out cracking sounds and sealed off Yi Chunfeng's escape routes. They rotated and attacked Yi Chunfeng's body. The 40 black wheels of death attacked with irresistible force. The ancient extreme heavenly water, black flame heavenly fire, and ancient extreme heavenly thunder gushed out from Yi Chunfeng's body and revolved around him, resisting the black wheels of death's attack. Boom, boom, boom. The black wheels of death clashed intensely with the three heavenly spirit. They formed a destructive force around Yi Qinfeng's body and attacked Yi Qinfeng's body. Tao of Darkness Spear. Just as Yi Qinfeng was engulfed by the destructive storm, the Tao pattern of darkness and Tao pattern of blade fused into the black spear. Mo Fengyun's entire body fused with the fiery spear like a roaring black dragon. He tore through the spatial walls and pierced towards Yi Qinfeng with extreme speed. Heavenly Tao Heartless. Mo Fengyun stabbed forward, and Yi Qinfeng immediately smelled the threat of death. 5 heavenly Tao patterns instantly surged out of his body, transforming into the power of heaven's might, which surged and bombarded the Tao of Darkness spear. Ka, 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 ka. The two powerful attacks collided, and the entire spatial zone immediately shattered. Waves of destructive force passed through the spatial cracks and permeated the void. Flying Immortal Sword. Seeing the heavenly Tao Heartless being pierced by Mo Fengyun's spear, the heavenly Tao pattern, sword Tao pattern, thunder Tao pattern, and fire Tao pattern instantly fused into the monarch armament. They fused with the power of 5 million kilograms and the power of slaughter as they met the attack head-on. Buzz. When the tip of the spear and the tip of the sword collided, a destructive force spread out over a few miles. It was like a slowly blooming black peony, destroying everything in the spatial zone. PFFF. Although Yi Qinfeng's strength was no longer the same as before, there was still a huge gap between him and Mo Fengyun. After taking the Tao of Darkness head-on, Yi Qinfeng was immediately injured. A large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth. He was like a kite with a broken string, piercing through the destructive storm and flying into the distance. Golden Lion Bloodline, Dragon Bloodline, Ignite. Seeing Yi Qinfeng in danger, the Golden Dragon Bloodlion immediately ignited the power of the 2 bloodlines within its body, increasing its strength to the greatest extent. It spat out a large amount of blood-colored light to attack Mo Fengyun. Blood Skeleton, Block. Mo Fengyun immediately summoned his celestial blood skeleton to block the blood-red light that the gold-clear dragon bloodlion spat out. He was able to entangle the gold-clear dragon bloodlion. 10 Directions Heavenly Devil Slash. After injuring Yi Qinfeng with his spear, Mo Fengyun followed up with another attack. He transformed into multiple shadows and appeared in front of Yi Qinfeng at an extremely fast speed. He slashed out a cross-blade that was filled with powerful will of the way. It slashed open the void, wanting to cut Yi Qinfeng's body into pieces. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. At this critical moment, Yi Qinfeng once again controlled the Vermilion Bird Cauldron to block in front of him, using all his strength to block the 10 Directions Heavenly Devil Slash. Bang! A loud sound rang out from the surface of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. The Vermilion Bird Cauldron was directly sent flying, exposing Yi Qinfeng behind it. Celestial Treasure, Serpent Spear. The Vermilion Bird Cauldron was sent flying by Mo Fengyun. A green light flickered in the air. Yi Qinfeng had summoned the Celestial Treasure Serpent Spear and attacked Mo Fengyun at close range. The Serpent Spear's light sword was extremely fast, but Mo Fengyun's reaction was even faster. He quickly stabbed out with his peak-grade Celestial Treasure Serpent Spear, sending it flying. Don't struggle pointlessly. Today, I will definitely kill you. Mo Fengyun glared at Yi Qinfeng. He stabbed out with his spear, wanting to take advantage of the moment when the 2 supreme treasures were sent flying to kill him. You want to kill me? Wait until your next life. God Devil Body. At this critical moment, Yi Qinfeng completely ignited his God Devil bloodline. A berserk and ruthless aura surged out of his body, causing his body to rapidly grow. He transformed into one of the most terrifying physical bodies in the universe, the God Devil Body. After transforming into his God Devil Body, Yi Qinfeng immediately unleashed over 10 million pounds of power. He raised his king armament to meet Mo Fengyun's attack. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion rang out. The 2 powerful attacks collided, unleashing a heaven-shaking energy that continued to tear apart the starry sky. Clashing head-on with Mo Fengyun's sure-kill spear strike, Yi Chunfeng was injured again. Large amounts of blood spurted from his mouth as he was sent flying again. However, the 10 million pounds of power released by the King armament caused Mo Fengyun's arm to go numb. His blood began to roil. What? How is this possible? Just what kind of great opportunity did he obtain from the Heaven Domain's supreme expert? When Mo Fengyun recalled the terrifying power that Yi Chunfeng had unleashed and the fiend god form that Yi Chunfeng had transformed into, his heart was in turmoil. At this time, he truly felt a threat from Yi Chunfeng. Furthermore, the great opportunity Yi Chunfeng had obtained was like poison to him. It made him go crazy, made him furious, and made him resolve to kill Yi Chunfeng. Friends Get Married Today mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You can see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 504. Brat, I swear I will kill you. Mo Fengyun roared and continued to launch a fierce attack at Yi Chunfeng. The dragon-like spear light and the tide-like saber shadows sealed the space around Yi Chunfeng. The huge pressure made Yi Chunfeng feel like he couldn't breathe. 20 million kilograms of force erupt. Unable to dodge, Yi Chunfeng erupted with a shocking power. The terrifying power was like a volcano erupting from his body as he used all his strength to resist Mo Fengyun's killing move. Boom! For a moment, the saber light, spear shadow, and sword light intertwined and erupted with boundless light. It was like a stormy sea that engulfed heaven and earth. It continued to destroy the cave-dwelling space, causing it to be filled with cracked, dark Dao spear. Yi Chunfeng had forcefully blocked his consecutive killer move. 40 dark Dao patterns shot out from Yi Chunfeng's body and fused into the black spear. The terrifying spear light transformed into a black dragon as it roared and pierced towards Yi Chunfeng. Flying immortal sword. Mo Fengyun stabbed out with his spear, and Yi Chunfeng did not dodge. Instead, he continuously exploded out with his foundation and fused it into his king armament. He slashed out with an outer heaven's sword, which contained shocking destructive power and 20 million kilograms of force as it struck the dark path spear. Boom! Heaven and earth once again released a heaven-shaking explosion. The terrifying collision caused the entire space to collapse. The boundless destructive power passed through the spatial cracks and wantonly wreaked havoc in the chaotic space. PFFF. After facing Mo Fengyun's dark Dao spear head-on, Yi Chunfeng only felt a terrifying power surge into his body. Even with his fiend god body that was comparable to a supreme-grade heaven artifact's defense, he couldn't withstand it. A large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth. Mo Fengyun wasn't in a good state either. Although he didn't vomit blood, the blood in his body was violently churning. His right hand that was holding the supreme-grade heaven artifact spear was bleeding. Boss, be careful. That scarlet blood heavenly bat is going over. Just as Yi Chunfeng was controlling the life Dao pattern to heal his injuries and was preparing to continue attacking, the Chaos Divine Beast's voice suddenly sounded in his ears. The terrifyingly powerful crimson blood heavenly bat broke through the sword puppet and the Chaos Divine Beast's blockade. It flew over at an extremely fast speed and launched a fatal attack on Yi Chunfeng. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Serpent Spear, double attack. In the nick of time, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and the Serpent Spear to block in front of him. Borrowing the power of these two supreme treasures, he managed to block the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat's ferocious attack. Just as the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat continued to attack Yi Chunfeng, the Sword Spirit Puppet arrived in time. Its entire body transformed into a huge sword that seemed capable of splitting the heavens and earth. It cut through the void and slashed towards the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat, interrupting its continuous attack. Buzz buzz. The Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat's continuous attack was forcefully interrupted by the sword puppet. The Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat immediately released a powerful sound wave towards Yi Chunfeng. Buzz! Yi Chunfeng felt his body and soul spirit tremble at the same time. His defense had a slight delay. Taking advantage of this rare opportunity, Mo Fengyun used all his strength to throw out the supreme-grade heaven artifact long spear. It drew a black shadow in the chaotic space and pierced towards Yi Chunfeng, wanting to pierce through his body. Not good! The black long spear flew over, and Yi Chunfeng immediately regained his senses. However, he no longer had the time to dodge. He could only use the king weapon to block in front of him and burst out with 10 million kilograms of force to block the fatal attack of the black long spear. PFFF. The black long spear struck the king weapon's body and immediately burst out with the Tao of Darkness. It forcefully penetrated the sword body that was covered with ancient patterns and surged into Yi Chunfeng's body. It shattered his divine devil body and worsened his injuries. Sword Puppet, Hundun, Dragon Bloodlion, use all your strength to deal with the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat. Don't let it get close to me. Compared to Mo Fengyun, the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat was a greater threat to Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng controlled the 20-life Tao patterns and forcefully suppressed his injuries as he shouted at the Chaos Divine Beast and the others. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's shout, the sword puppet ignored the sound wave attack released by the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat and forcefully got close to it. It interweaved sword shadows and enveloped the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat. At this moment, the golden clear dragon Bloodlion also repelled the Blood Skulls and attacked the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat together with the Chaos Divine Beast, forcefully restricting the Crimson Blood Heavenly Bat's movement. Kid, you have lost your advantage. Be obedient and accept your death. With a thought, Mo Fengyun put away his black spear. Then, he looked at the severely injured Yi Chunfeng, whose complexion was pale and devoid of any color. Chunfeng, let me help you. Just as Yi Chunfeng was about to retreat, a familiar voice rang out from the distance. Jian Chen, who had passed the test of the steel, turned into a gust of wind and rushed over at an extremely fast speed. A Class 6 Reverse Beast King. It looks like Jian Chen has obtained quite a great fortune from the steel. Sensing that Jian Chen had advanced 2 levels in less than a month, Yi Chunfeng couldn't help but feel happy for him. Jian Chen's appearance caused the situation to change slightly once more. Whirlwind. Jian Chen arrived just in time. 40 wind Tao patterns and 30 sword Tao patterns surged out of his body, turning into a gust of wind that swept towards Mo Fengyun. Damn it, why did he also obtain a great fortune from the ethereal immortal realm? Mo Fengyun was infuriated by Jian Chen's attack. He couldn't imagine that the situation he had set up with so much effort would benefit Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen in the end. Today, both of you will die. Mo Fengyun roared. He completely ignited his spiritual beast bloodline. A scarlet saber shadow slashed down, forcefully cutting through the whirlwind. 7 Swords of Judgment, Eclipse. The moment Mo Fengyun broke through Jian Chen's attack, Yi Chunfeng ignored his injuries and sped up to approach him. Several Tao intents flew out of his body, turning into the Sword of Eclipse. With an unstoppable sword might, it tore through space and slashed at Mo Fengyun. Tao Intent of Shadow. Mo Fengyun immediately dodged the Sword of Eclipse. However, the moment he dodged the Sword of Eclipse, a terrifying gust of wind swept over him, greatly slowing his movement speed. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the 5 Tao patterns transformed into the wrath of the heavens and blasted into the gust of wind. It pierced through Mo Fengyun's golden tortoise shell and heavily struck his body, shattering the black scales that covered his body and heavily injuring him. With Mo Fengyun injured, Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen tacitly approached him, not giving him any chance to catch his breath. They suppressed his attacks with all their might and aggravated his injuries. Blood Skull, Space Suppression. Enduring Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen's ferocious attacks, Mo Fengyun quickly spat out several mouthfuls of essence blood into the blood skull. He controlled the blood skull to emit boundless blood aura, suppressing space and forcefully slowing down Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen's movements. The next moment, 4 dark golden talismans containing the power of destruction appeared from Mo Fengyun's body. They attacked Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen with extreme speed. Not good. Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen didn't expect Mo Fengyun to have such a trump card. Their expressions changed as they decisively dodged. However, under the suppression of the blood aura released by the blood skull, their dodging speed slowed down slightly. Boom, 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 boom. 4 deafening explosions rang out as the 4 dark golden talismans exploded. They formed a terrifying power of destruction that heavily bombarded Yi Qinfeng and Jian Chen, who couldn't dodge in time. As the space collapsed, the 2 of them were swallowed inside. Tomorrow, the official WeChat account will post a picture of Yu Nikang. If you want to see it, please add YWLTY83 or search for Tears Rain. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 505. Crystal Coffin Defense. Jian Chen's defense was far inferior to Yi Qinfeng's. His body was unable to withstand the explosion of the 4 talismans. Just as his body was about to be crushed by the destructive force, he summoned the crystal coffin in time and hid inside, blocking the destructive force. 7 Sword of Judgment, Waning Moon Break. Yi Qinfeng relied on his body, which was comparable to a supreme-grade heaven artifact, to block the destructive force. He quickly slashed out a sword light that resembled a demonic moon. The sword light tore through the destructive storm and flew out at an extremely fast speed. Tao of Darkness Spear. The moment Yi Qinfeng broke through the destructive storm, Mo Fengyun appeared above his head. His entire body fused with the black spear, and the spear pierced through his head. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. After a series of intense battles, even Yi Qinfeng's body could not withstand the attacks of the Tao of Darkness spear. He could only summon the Vermilion Bird Cauldron to block with all his strength. Buzz. A loud sound rang out from the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. The powerful shockwave destroyed the space once again. Winding spatial cracks constantly extended into the distance. This damaged space was faintly unable to withstand the shockwave from Yi Qinfeng's attack. It showed signs of being completely destroyed. Qingfeng, are you all right? Jian Chen immediately put away the crystal coffin and appeared beside the injured Yi Qinfeng as soon as the destructive storm formed by the 4 dark golden formation glyphs dispersed. He asked in concern. I'm fine. I can still hold on. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and controlled the life Tao pattern to suppress the injuries on his body as he spoke in a low voice. Brat, your lives are really tough. I can't even kill you like this. Mo Fengyun, who was also exhausted, looked at Yi Qinfeng and Yi Qinfeng with a gloomy expression. He had never dreamt that Yi Qinfeng would be so difficult to deal with. Even with his cultivation as a peak level 2 combat beast emperor and the 4th layer of the Tao of Darkness, he was unable to kill him. However, no matter how tough your lives are, you can't change your fate. This place is destined to be your grave. With that, Mo Fengyun burned his qi and blood at all costs to increase his strength as much as possible. Holding the black spear and the heavenly blood devil saber, he continued to attack the 2 of them fiercely. As for the other 2 heavenly beasts, the sword puppet was barely able to withstand the heavenly bat's attack. The sword puppet's energy was almost depleted, and it could only hold on for half an incense stick's worth of time. Sigh, it seems that with my current strength and trump cards, I still can't kill Mo Fengyun. Seeing the situation before him, Yi Qinfeng had the intention to retreat. He was prepared to leave this place first and wait for his strength to increase before settling the score with Mo Fengyun. Great Demon Slaying Dragonblade. 10 Directions Demonic Slash. Mo Fengyun sensed that Yi Chunfeng was preparing to break out of the encirclement and escape, so he immediately increased the intensity of his attacks. He suppressed the two of them like a tidal wave, not giving them a chance to escape. Boom, boom, boom. The three of them clashed again and again, killing each other recklessly. The more they fought, the faster and stronger they became. As for the space where they were fighting, a large area was collapsing. The loud sound was like a huge bell in the sky, constantly shaking. Master, we can't continue attacking like this. This space is going to be destroyed soon. As the area of the broken space became larger and larger, an endless amount of destructive energy swept through the area. Jin Qing Dragon Bloodlion sensed the danger and quickly transmitted a message to Yi Chunfeng. The level 8 Heavenly Beast Heavenly Bat also sensed that the broken space was going to be destroyed, so it slowed down its attacks and transmitted the message to Mo Fengyun. Once this space was destroyed, the explosive energy was enough to kill them. Spatial destruction. Hearing the Heavenly Bat's message, Mo Fengyun's blood-red eyes flashed with madness. He had a bold and risky idea. That was to completely detonate the broken space and borrow the destructive power of the broken space to kill Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen in one fell swoop, completely eliminating these two potential threats. As for the great fortuitous encounter on them, Mo Fengyun no longer hoped for it. Right now, he only wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen. Otherwise, once they escaped, what awaited him would be a nightmare. Heavenly Bat, attack with everything you have. Even if the space is going to be destroyed, kill them all. Mo Fengyun gave the order to the cowardly Heavenly Bat. Hearing Mo Fengyun's order, the Heavenly Bat was unwilling, but it could not resist Mo Fengyun's will. It could only continue attacking, using all its strength to tear through the sword puppet and the two heavenly beasts to kill Yi Chunfeng. Brother Jian Chen, we can't stay here for long. Let's leave first. Mo Fengyun wanted to fight to the death, but Yi Chunfeng was unwilling to take the risk. He transmitted a message to Jian Chen, wanting to break out of the encirclement with him. All right. Jian Chen nodded. Sword-type and wind-type patterns fused together, forming a tornado that swept towards Mo Fengyun. Slash. Mo Fengyun leaped into the air and slashed down with the heavenly blood demonic saber in his hand. With an astonishing destructive power, he slashed apart the tornado. The heavenly way is merciless. Heavenly punishment strike. The moment Mo Fengyun forcefully cut through the tornado, Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen both launched their most powerful attacks in an attempt to force Mo Fengyun back. Dark-type spear. All-directional demonic slash. Mo Fengyun did not dodge Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen's attack. 40 dark-type patterns fused into the black spear, while 20 dark-type patterns fused into the demonic blade of the heavenly blood. Instantly, a shocking spear light shot out, and a cross-type demonic slash met the attack. Boom! Boom! A thunderous sound rang through the sky. The earth-shattering destructive energy surged like an ocean. The intense repulsion caused the destructive energy to disperse in all directions, causing a large area of space to collapse again. Swish! Swish! Just as the space became extremely unstable, Mo Fengyun continued to launch powerful attacks at Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen, forcing them to use their full strength. The destructive energy continued to collapse the space. This madman. Yi Chunfeng had never thought that Mo Fengyun would be so crazy, wanting to destroy the entire space. He decisively changed his attack with Jian Chen and tried to break out of the encirclement. Unfortunately, Mo Fengyun's strength was far greater than theirs. Under his full-powered attacks, Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen's attempts to break out were restricted. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chen made up their minds and continued to use powerful attacks to fend off Mo Fengyun's attacks, something unexpected happened. The heavily collapsed space finally could not hold on any longer. A terrifying energy erupted from the collapsed space. For a moment, the entire space collapsed and everything was annihilated. The terrifying destructive energy erupted like a volcano, filling the entire space. Like a surging wave, it swept towards Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chun. Not good. Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chun, who were sent flying by the terrifying waves, saw that the space was finally destroyed. Their faces changed drastically. They quickly summoned the sword puppet and the two heavenly beasts and tried their best to escape from the broken space. Brat, leave your lives here. While Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chun were escaping, Mo Fengyun and the heavenly bat launched their most terrifying attacks at them. They slowed down their escape speed, causing them to be engulfed by the shock waves caused by the destruction of the space. Their lives were in danger. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 506. Xing Feng, come in quickly. At this critical moment, Jian Chun took out the purple crystal coffin again. Withstanding the destructive power that was enough to kill them, he hid inside the crystal coffin with Yi Chunfeng and Jin Qing Dragon Blood Lion. Rumble! The tidal wave of destructive power bombarded the crystal coffin, causing it to tremble violently. Tiny cracks could be seen spreading across the surface of the coffin. Although Yi Chunfeng and Jian Chun managed to escape with the help of the crystal coffin's terrifying defensive power, the explosion of spatial destruction was too terrifying. The crystal coffin, which had a defensive power comparable to a supreme-grade heaven artifact, could shatter at any time. Sword puppet, we're counting on you. Take us out of here. Sensing that the crystal coffin wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer, Yi Chunfeng immediately gave the invincible sword spirit puppet an order. He ordered it to drag the crystal coffin and forcefully pass through the storm of destruction, flying towards the outside of the cave. Rumble! At the same time, another earth-shattering explosion came from the cave. Yi Tianjuan's cave was being destroyed by the space around him at a rapid pace. Once Yi Tianjuan's cave was completely destroyed, not to mention the crystal coffin, even a Dao artifact would be destroyed. No, the sword puppet's flying speed is not his forte. If we continue to run at this speed, we'll die. Yi Chunfeng saw more and more cracks on the crystal coffin. Waves of destructive power were pouring in through the crack. He immediately became anxious and tried to think of a solution. Jian Chun, Dragon Blood Lion, wait for me in the crystal coffin. I'll go out and take the crystal coffin. Yi Chunfeng gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. No, it's too dangerous. Jian Chun tried to stop him. Don't worry, Jian Chun. I can still protect myself. Besides, we have no other choice. Sitting here and waiting will only speed up our death. We can only give it a try now. Yi Chunfeng said firmly. With that, Yi Chunfeng ignored Jian Chun's objections. He erupted with great power and forcefully pushed open the crystal coffin that Jian Chun had sealed. He appeared in the space that was filled with destructive power, filled with cracks, and had collapsed. Kacha Kacha! Appearing in the space of destruction, Yi Chunfeng's fleshly body, which was comparable to a high-grade heaven artifact, could not withstand the baptism of the destructive power. It immediately ruptured and a large amount of blood flowed out. Fiend God Bloodline, ignite, Fiend God Body. Seeing that his physical body was about to be destroyed, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to burn his divine demon bloodline and transform into his divine demon body. While greatly increasing his physical defense, he unleashed a force of 20 million jin, constantly tearing apart the destructive storm in front of him. He quickly flew away with the crystal coffin and sword puppet. Bloodline of the Golden Rock burn. Seeing that the space behind him was collapsing faster and faster, and that it was about to devour him along with the crystal coffin, Yi Chunfeng, who was under immense pressure, immediately ignited his golden rock bloodline, increasing his flying speed as he fled with the crystal coffin. Crack! Yi Chunfeng flew away with the crystal coffin and sword puppet for 15 minutes. Then, the sound of space rupturing could be heard. A 10,000-meter-long spatial fissure that resembled a black dragon appeared, blocking Yi Chunfeng's path. Yi Chunfeng's flying speed was greatly slowed by this terrifying spatial crack. The space that was constantly collapsing and destroying was closing in on him at a speed visible to the naked eye. Sword puppet cross. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng shot out the sword puppet, allowing the sword puppet to cross the destructive spatial fissure. As for himself, when the sword puppet was forcefully crossing the spatial fissure, he stepped on the sword puppet's body with the crystal coffin. He endured the destructive power tearing his body apart as he forcefully crossed the spatial fissure. Boom! With the help of the sword puppet, Yi Chunfeng forcefully crossed the spatial fissure. The destructive power was like a raging sea as it ruthlessly bombarded this 10,000-meter-long spatial fissure. Immediately, the entire space collapsed, returning to its original state of nothingness. Pfft! Yi Chunfeng, who had slowed down because he was crossing through the spatial crack, was struck by this world-destroying storm. His body, which was comparable to a top-grade heaven artifact, was badly mutilated, and a large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth. Blood chi ignition, wind riding technique. With his body heavily injured by the destructive storm, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to burn his blood chi energy, continuing to increase his speed as he rapidly flew between life and death. The entrance of the ruined cavern. Seeing that the heavily injured Yi Chunfeng was about to be swallowed up by the destructive storm, he finally saw the entrance of the ruined cavern through the chaotic space. Boom! Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had escaped from the ruined cavern, an earth-shattering sound of destruction rang out. The cavern, which had collapsed and destroyed a large area of the cavern, was completely destroyed. Endless destructive power swallowed Yi Chunfeng. Chaotic force break. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was about to be swallowed up by the destructive power, 5 streaks of chaotic force shot out of Yi Chunfeng's body and tore open a path of escape. Although the path of escape opened by the chaotic force was instantly swallowed up by the destructive power, Yi Chunfeng seized this fleeting opportunity and rushed out of Yi Tianjuan's cavern with the crystal coffin that was about to shatter under the protection of the sword puppet. Boom, 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 boom. The moment Yi Chunfeng rushed out of the cavern, the entire cavern was destroyed. The terrifying destructive power struck Yi Chunfeng, shattering the crystal coffin and sending Yi Chunfeng, who had nowhere to hide, flying 1,000 meters away. His body, which was comparable to a supreme-grade celestial artifact, was almost destroyed. Well, you're not dead yet. You're really lucky. Mo Fengyun, who had already escaped from the ruined cavern, saw Yi Chunfeng rushing out of the destroyed space at the last moment. His face instantly turned gloomy as intense killing intent shot out from his eyes. But this is for the best. I'll kill you with my own hands, and everything you have will be mine. Thinking of the many secrets and treasures Yi Chunfeng had, Mo Fengyun and the Crimson Blood Bat both flew towards the heavily injured Yi Chunfeng. They wanted to kill him while he was injured and take everything he had. Chaotic roar. As Mo Fengyun and the Crimson Blood Bat approached, the chaotic divine beast released its strongest power. It let out an earth-shattering roar that pierced through the chaotic space and struck towards Mo Fengyun and the Crimson Blood Bat. Dragon's energy. The heavily injured Jinqing Dragon Blood Lion appeared beside Yi Chunfeng at this moment. It burned its dragon bloodline and released a terrifying dragon's energy. Dark Dao Spear break. Facing the attack of the chaotic divine beast and the Jinqing Dragon Blood Lion, Mo Fengyun did not dodge. Instead, he held the Dark Dao Spear in his hand and faced it head-on. The spear that was filled with 40 Dark Dao inscriptions broke the attacks of the 2 heavenly beasts and allowed the ferocious Crimson Blood Bat to launch a fatal attack on Yi Chunfeng. Chaotic energy break. As the Crimson Blood Bat attacked, Yi Chunfeng released the remaining 5 streaks of chaotic energy. They bombarded the Crimson Blood Bat at close range. TSK, TSK, TSK. The extremely sharp chaotic energy pierced through the Crimson Blood Bat's soundwave attack like a hot knife through butter. It penetrated its body and injured it. Then, the 5 streaks of chaotic energy continued to attack Mo Fengyun, who was behind the Crimson Blood Bat. Mo Fengyun did not expect Yi Chunfeng to have such a trump card. He was careless and was injured by the chaotic energy. Jianchun, take care. We will meet again if fate allows it. With that, Yi Chunfeng grabbed the opportunity when Fengyun and the Crimson Blood Bat were injured and forcefully controlled the universe mirror to keep the Jinqing Dragon Bloodline inside. He continued to burn the Golden Rock's bloodline and vital energy as he flew out of the chaotic ethereal paradise at an extremely fast speed. He was trying his best to shake off the pursuit of Mo Fengyun and the Crimson Blood Bat. Take a look at Yu Nichang's picture and add her WeChat account, YLTY83. I'll post it tonight. Remember the URL. Sanwu Chinese Network. Chapter 507. Kid, leave your life for me. Mo Fengyun quickly consumed a heavenly healing elixir and stabilized the wounds on his body. He leaped onto the Scarlet Blood Bat, which was roaring in pain, and chased after Yi Chunfeng with all his might. Primordial Chaos Roar. The Chaos Divine Beast was not injured. As Mo Fengyun chased after Yi Chunfeng, it constantly released powerful roars to attack Mo Fengyun and the Scarlet Blood Bat, forcefully slowing down their pursuit. As for Yi Chunfeng, who was on the brink of death, his potential was stimulated bit by bit under the threat of death. He flew faster and faster, not giving the Scarlet Blood Bat a chance to close the distance. More than 2 hours later, Yi Chunfeng, who was shrouded in a thick blood aura, returned to the periphery of the ethereal immortal realm. He rapidly flew towards the shortcut exit of the ethereal immortal realm. Crack, the crack that leads to the outside world. Soon enough, Yi Chunfeng flew into the periphery of the ethereal immortal realm. The terrain was complicated, and the mountain range was filled with ancient trees. He saw a strange spatial crack deep in the mountain range, and this crack was the only shortcut to leave the ethereal immortal realm. Divine Devil Bloodline, Dragon Bloodline Ignition. Divine Devil Body, 20 million kilograms of strength burst. As Yi Chunfeng rapidly approached this spatial crack, he unleashed his full strength without holding back, instantly raising his strength to its peak. 7 Swords of Judgment, Sun Eclipse. The Tao of Heaven, the Tao of Sword, the Tao of Thunder, and the Tao of Slaughter were all infused into the king armament. A sword light that was as bright as the sun pierced through the sky, bringing with it the power to destroy everything, and slashed at the spatial crack. The moment Yi Chunfeng made his move, the sword puppet, which was burning a large amount of soul crystals, also made its move. The man-weapon unity slashed out. Crack. After receiving the all-out attack from Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet, the spatial crack that sealed the array pattern immediately broke, revealing a powerful spatial power. 10 Directions Heavenly Devil Slash. The moment Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet worked together to tear the spatial crack, Mo Fengyun, who was chasing after them, slashed out a huge cross devil slash, which cut open the spatial crack and slashed at Yi Chunfeng. Let's go. When the 10-directional heavenly demon slash came, Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet accelerated and flew into the spatial rift, disappearing from the chaotic ethereal wonderland. Boom. The moment Yi Chunfeng disappeared, this spatial crack was struck by the 10-directional heavenly demon slash, and it started to tremble violently. Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat. Let's chase. When Mo Fengyun saw Yi Chunfeng disappearing into the spatial crack, he didn't hesitate and followed the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat into the spatial crack. They continued their pursuit of Yi Chunfeng, determined to kill him. If he couldn't kill Yi Chunfeng this time, with his talent and foundation, once he matured, He would bring a devastating disaster to Mo Fengyun and the Western Devil sect. This was something Mo Fengyun didn't want to see. "Boss, can you still hold on?" Yi Chunfeng flew out of the ethereal wonderland while enduring the immense spatial pressure. His injuries worsened again and again. The blood that flowed out of his body had already dyed him red. Sensing that his injuries were getting worse, the Chaos Divine Beast asked anxiously, "Don't worry, I can still hold on." Yi Chunfeng quickly drank a mouthful of the water of heavenly fate and recovered his exhausted soul power. He quickly flew towards the northern part of the ethereal wonderland, thinking of a way to shake off the pursuit of Mo Fengyun and the others. It's him. He actually didn't die. The moment Yi Chunfeng flew out of the ethereal wonderland, Mo Qianli and the others, who had already left the ethereal wonderland, discovered him. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng actually managed to leave the ethereal wonderland alive, they were all shocked. While they were still in shock, Mo Fengyun flew out on the scarlet blood heavenly bat and continued to pursue Yi Chunfeng. "It's Sect Master. He's chasing that brat." Could it be that the brat obtained the greatest opportunity of the ethereal wonderland? Looking at Mo Fengyun and Crimson Blood Bat disappearing into the horizon, Mo Qianli and the others had an unimaginable thought in their minds. They were stunned on the spot. "Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat, quickly ignite your bloodline power. If that brat escapes, we will never have a day of peace in the future." Mo Fengyun kept urging. Boom! Boundless blood light burst out from the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat's body. After igniting its bloodline power, the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat's flying speed soared once again. It slowly closed the distance between Yi Chunfeng and itself. However, when they forced their way closer, the Chaos Divine Beast continued to release powerful sound waves to attack the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat. The sound waves and the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat's sound waves fiercely repulsed each other in midair, forming a destructive force that engulfed the heavens and earth. With the help of the Chaos Divine Beast, the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat was still unable to catch up to Yi Chunfeng. However, Yi Chunfeng was also unable to shake off their pursuit with his speed. Just like this, they relied on their incomparably strong willpower to chase and escape through the 9 heavens at extreme speed, crossing an extremely vast area. The mountain range is like a dragon, surrounded by fog, and surrounded by 3 mountains. Finally, I have found the Cloud Dragon Mountain. Looking at the dragon-shaped mountain range that was surrounded by fog, Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath. He suppressed the worsening injuries on his body and flew into the Cloud Dragon Mountain with extreme speed. The reason why Yi Chunfeng flew all the way to the Cloud Dragon Mountain was because Fu Qingshan had told him that there was a teleportation array hidden in the Cloud Dragon Mountain. If he wanted to shake off Mo Fengyun and the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat's pursuit, he had to use the teleportation array. As expected, there is an array pattern restriction hidden in this mountain. The heavily injured Yi Chunfeng followed the route that Fu Qingshan had given him. When he flew into the depths of the mountain range with complicated terrain, he discovered the array pattern restriction. He did not hesitate to use his full strength to break through the restriction and flew inside. And what is in that restriction? Mo Fengyun, who was chasing relentlessly, also felt the power of the array pattern restriction in the Cloud Dragon Mountain. When he thought about how Yi Chunfeng had fled all the way here, his face instantly turned gloomy. He immediately went through the restriction with the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat and followed closely behind Yi Chunfeng. Teleportation Array. The moment he flew into the array pattern restriction, Mo Fengyun saw the teleportation array engraved on the ground. It was shining with white light. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng had already appeared on the teleportation array. He formed a complicated hand seal and fused it into the teleportation array, forcibly activating it. Die! Seeing that the teleportation array was about to activate, Mo Fengyun jumped high on the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat. His entire body fused with the supreme grade Heaven Artifact Long Spear. He launched a fatal attack at Yi Chunfeng with the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat. He wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng with all his might and not give him a chance to teleport away. Sword Puppet Defend. At the crucial moment, the Sword Puppet, which had fused with enough energy, blocked Mo Fengyun's dragon-like long spear. It forcibly blocked the fatal attack. Vermilion Bird Cauldron Attack. The next moment, the Vermilion Bird Cauldron flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body. Accompanied by the Chaos Divine Beast's world-shaking roar, it bombarded the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat's body and blocked its attack. Teleportation Array Activate. After forcibly blocking Mo Fengyun and the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat's ultimate attack, Yi Chunfeng quickly summoned the Sword Puppet and the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, successfully activating the teleportation array. Following a white light that shot into the sky, Yi Chunfeng disappeared into the teleportation light before Mo Fengyun and the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat could reach him. The moment he disappeared, a huge explosion sounded. The 4 self-destructing rocks that Yi Chunfeng left in the teleportation array exploded at the right time. The terrifying explosion destroyed the teleportation array and cut off Mo Fengyun's chance to chase after him. In the midst of great danger and death, Yi Chunfeng successfully snatched food from the tiger's mouth. He snatched the biggest opportunity in the ethereal immortal realm from Mo Fengyun and escaped. Mobile reading website, book address. For your convenience, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 508. Kacha. A strange spatial crack suddenly appeared in the sky above a lush forest filled with rugged rocks and towering ancient trees. A large amount of spatial energy leaked out from the crack, forming a terrifying storm. Suddenly, a bloody figure appeared from the spatial crack. Like a rapidly falling meteorite, the figure fell from the spatial crack and smashed into the ground, creating a huge crater in the hard mountain ground. Phew, I finally made it out alive. A heavily injured man covered in blood looked at the unfamiliar space and environment around him and let out a long sigh of relief. Then, his eyes turned black and he fainted. This heavily injured man was none other than Yi Chunfeng, who had forcefully escaped from Mo Fengyun and the Scarlet Blood Heavenly Bat's pursuit through the spatial teleportation array. The reason why Yi Chunfeng was so heavily injured and fell into the spatial crack during the teleportation was because he had detonated 4 self-exploding stones during the teleportation, causing the spatial teleportation power to become unstable. In addition, the teleportation formation on the other side had already been destroyed, causing Yi Chunfeng to experience a narrow escape during the teleportation formation. He almost lost his life in the teleportation formation. Although Yi Chunfeng had managed to survive, the Chaos Divine Beast, Golden Clear Dragon Bloodlion, and Space Devourer had all been heavily injured during the process of breaking the spatial wall. They had all fallen into a coma. The Sword Puppet had also consumed almost all of its high-grade and peak-grade soul crystals. There wasn't much energy left in it. Time passed day by day. Suddenly, the blue sky was filled with dark clouds and heavy rain fell from the sky. Yi Chunfeng, who had been unconscious for several days due to his heavy injuries, woke up. Mo Fengyun, you didn't kill me this time. Wait until I recover from my injuries and increase my strength. I will definitely overturn your Western Devil sect and kill you with my sword. The heavily injured Yi Chunfeng quickly consumed 2 heaven-level soul elixirs and forced himself to sit up in the heavy rain. He swore to himself. Yi Chunfeng circulated the soul-devouring secret art and silently inspected his body. He discovered that his injuries were much more serious than he had imagined. His body was severely damaged. His meridians and internal organs were severely damaged. More importantly, there were still traces of space force that constantly damaged his body. It would take at least a month for him to fully recover. He was only left with 2 balls of life spirits that had the ability to revive life and death. Before his life was in danger, Yi Chunfeng wasn't going to waste the life spirits. He decided to recuperate in this mountain forest for a period of time and disperse the spatial power. He was going to rely on the life Tao pattern to slowly recover his overdrawn body. Sword puppet, get me out of here! With a thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet, whose energy was almost depleted, and brought him away from the crater. They found a secluded cave and hid in it to take shelter from the rain and recuperate. Damn spatial energy! After entering the cave, Yi Chunfeng could feel the remnant spatial power in his body continuously destroying his body. He quickly controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to devour the spatial power. Pong! 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 After being devoured by the Chaos Divine Wood, the spatial power immediately backfired, causing Yi Chunfeng's body to constantly explode. The powerful explosion blasted Yi Chunfeng's body, which was comparable to a high-grade heaven artifact, into a bloody mess. His meridians were ruptured, and his physical body was once again severely damaged. Meridian Replenishing Herb, 10,000-year-old blood jade ginseng. As his injuries continued to worsen, Yi Chunfeng immediately consumed 2 heaven-class soul elixirs. While stabilizing his injuries, he grasped the 2 spiritual items that he had obtained previously. He plundered the spiritual attributes in them to repair his ruptured meridians and depleted blood. Slowly, the Chaos Divine Wood devoured all the remnant spatial power in Yi Chunfeng's body. Yi Chunfeng fainted again due to his severe injuries. It was unknown how much time had passed, but the unconscious Yi Chunfeng felt his mouth being gently pried open by someone. A spiritual herb was stuffed into his mouth, which turned into a large amount of pure spiritual energy and entered his body through his throat. Who saved me? Yi Chunfeng, who had been unconscious for several days, slowly opened his tired eyes. A round baby face appeared in front of him. A very cute little girl, who was wearing a coarse cloth gown and had a chubby little face, was blinking her big watery eyes as she looked at him. Ah, you're awake. Seeing Yi Chunfeng suddenly open his eyes, the little girl let out a long sigh of relief. Her big eyes curved into the shape of a crescent moon, revealing 2 small dimples as she spoke in a sweet voice. Thank you. Yi Chunfeng forced himself to sit up and looked at the little girl's cute little face as he spoke weakly. Big brother, what did you encounter in this valley? How did you suffer such heavy injuries? The little girl tilted her head and looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was covered in blood, and asked curiously. As she spoke, her eyes occasionally drifted to Yi Chunfeng's hands. Most of the spiritual attributes of the meridian replenishing grass and the 10,000-year-old blood jade ginseng had been consumed. I was chased by a very terrifying heavenly beast. Yi Chunfeng did not tell the little girl the truth and casually made up a story. Heavenly beast. The little girl's long eyelashes trembled as she said in surprise, Big brother, you are so powerful. You actually have the ability to escape from a heavenly beast. If I had encountered a heavenly beast, I would not have been able to survive. Why, are you interested in the 2 stalks of spirit grass in my hands? Yi Chunfeng noticed that when the little girl was speaking, her eyes were always on the 2 stalks of spirit grass in his hand. The little girl lightly bit her rosy lips and said somewhat embarrassedly, Since you saved me, I'll give this meridian replenishing grass and 10,000-year-old blood jade ginseng to you. Yi Chunfeng had an inexplicable good impression of this cute little girl and gave her the meridian replenishing grass and 10,000-year-old blood jade ginseng. Thank you. Receiving the meridian replenishing grass and 10,000-year-old blood jade ginseng, the little girl was so excited that her face was flushed red like a big ripe apple. Damn, a divine beast. There is a divine beast here. Just as Yi Chunfeng was silently controlling the life Tao pattern to heal his injuries, the Chaos Divine Beast suddenly woke up and let out a cry of surprise. Divine Beast. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and released all the soul power in his mind, covering a few miles. He asked with his mind. Where is the divine beast? This little girl in front of you is a divine beast. The chaos divine beast sensed repeatedly and said, No, to be precise, she has the blood of a divine beast flowing in her body. Hundun, are you sure you are not mistaken? Why can't I feel anything special about her? Yi Chunfeng released his soul power and sensed repeatedly, but he did not sense any divine beast aura in the little girl's body. He asked suspiciously. This is the connection between divine beasts. If I am not wrong, this little girl has the blood of the divine beast, golden eye divine ape flowing in her body. She should be a life born from the union of a golden eye divine ape and another race. The chaos divine beast said. Hundun, how powerful is this golden eye divine ape? Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and asked in surprise. The golden eye divine ape is not an ordinary divine beast. It is a mutated divine beast. It is considered good if one is born every 10 million years. Once the golden eye divine ape reaches maturity, the power it contains is enough to destroy the world. It is also an overlord among the divine beasts. This little girl not only has the bloodline of the golden eye divine ape, but there is also a mysterious bloodline flowing in her body. However, that bloodline does not belong to a divine beast, so I can't identify it yet. However, the golden eye divine ape is very arrogant and will never combine with an ordinary bloodline. Therefore, the other bloodline in her body is definitely not of a low grade. Once the two bloodlines in her body awaken, her strength will increase rapidly and rapidly. Boss, you must not miss this opportunity. It is not a coincidence that she is here. It might be related to a big secret. Before her bloodline inheritance is fully awakened, you have to woo her, and make her follow you wholeheartedly. That way, you will have a powerful helper in the future, and you will have a chance to share her secrets, the Chaos Divine Beast suggested. Yi Chunfeng, mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 509. Big brother, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me so strangely? The little girl blinked her big watery eyes and looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was staring at her with a burning gaze, and asked coquettishly. Nothing. Yi Chunfeng rubbed his nose awkwardly. He looked away and asked, Little girl, what's your name? Where are you from? This forest doesn't seem safe. Why did you come here? My name is Ling Yu, and I'm a disciple of the Xianming sect. I came here to look for food. Ling Yu pouted her small mouth and explained while eating the 10,000-year-old blood jade ginseng with relish. Why? You don't have enough to eat in the Xianming sect? Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up, and he asked patiently. Well, the food they gave me was disgusting, and they didn't give me the delicious food. In order to not be hungry, I could only come here to look for food. Ling Yu stuffed the entire 10,000-year-old blood jade ginseng into her mouth, and stuffed her mouth full. She nodded and said, Ling Yu, is this the delicious food you were talking about? Yi Chunfeng asked with a smile as he took out a spiritual grass from his Qiankuan ring. The spiritual grass was full of slender leaves, and it was green all over. It was full of spirituality. 3,000-year-old 7-star grass. When the spirit fish saw the jade-green grass in Yi Chunfeng's hand that was emitting traces of spiritual energy, its eyes lit up as it spoke excitedly. Ling Yu, I have a lot of spiritual grasses like the 7-star grass. If you don't want to go hungry, follow me in the future. I promise to let you eat until you're full every day. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng took out several 1,000-year-old spiritual grasses that exuded rich spiritual qi. He looked at Ling Yu, whose eyes were wide open and was bursting with joy, and asked temptingly, Big brother, why are you so good to me? Don't tell me you have some ulterior motives? Although the 1,000-year-old spiritual grass in Yi Chenfeng's hand was a fatal temptation to the spiritual fish, the intelligent spiritual fish's eyes revealed a trace of vigilance. It took 2 steps back and questioned Yi Chenfeng. "Ling Yu, do you think I'm a bad person?" Yi Chenfeng's face turned slightly red. He smiled bitterly and said, "You're my benefactor. I won't harm you. I just feel that you're very similar to my sister. That's why I want to take care of you and not let you go hungry." "I look like your sister." The spirit fish blinked and looked at Yi Chenfeng. "But we don't look alike at all. How could I look like your sister?" Yi Chenfeng was rendered speechless by the spirit fish's question. He did not know how to explain. "Forget it. If you don't want to follow me, I won't force you. Here, take these 7,000-year-old herbs." Yi Chenfeng knew that pestering her would only backfire. He didn't force her and generously gave her the 7,000-year-old herbs. "Ling Yu, I'm going to recuperate. Take your time to eat these 1,000-year-old herbs. You can ask me for more when you're done." Yi Chenfeng spoke softly and continued to tempt her with the herbs. "Thank you." Holding the 7 stalks of 1,000-year-old spirit herbs that Yi Chenfeng gave her, the spirit fish had a complicated look in her eyes. However, the temptation of the 7 stalks of 1,000-year-old spirit herbs was too great. After hesitating for a while, she did not return them to Yi Chenfeng. But in her heart, she had a trace of favorable impression of Yi Chenfeng. "Boss, you are indeed capable. I think it won't be long before this young lady will follow you wholeheartedly." The Chaos Divine Beast opened its mouth and transmitted a message using its mind. "Stop talking nonsense. Protect me. Remind me if there's any danger." Finishing his words, Yi Chenfeng consumed a heaven-class soul elixir and sat cross-legged on the ground. He removed all distracting thoughts from his mind and controlled the 20 life Tao patterns to slowly heal his injuries. While Yi Chenfeng was recuperating, the spirit fish, who had eaten 3,000-year-old herbs consecutively, had an intoxicated look in her eyes. She didn't leave but curled up and fell asleep in the cave. Just as the downpour gradually stopped, Yi Chenfeng, who was fully focused on recuperating, suddenly opened his tightly shut eyes. He looked out of the cave and revealed a trace of grave expression. The spirit fish, who was sleeping soundly, was also awakened. Her tender face revealed a trace of fear as she spoke anxiously. "Big brother, that strange tree is chasing after us. We have to leave this place quickly. If we are late, we might be in danger. Don't be afraid. Follow me." Yi Chenfeng slowly stood up and brought the panicked spiritual fish out of the cave. They came to the humid valley and saw a 5-meter-tall tree with dragon-like ancient vines coiling around its trunk. An old face could be vaguely seen in the trunk of the tree. There were more than 10 spiritual fruits on the tree, and the ancient tree was emitting a strong demonic aura. It moved the muddy mountain and approached them at an extremely fast speed. "Big brother, this tree demon is very powerful. Let's escape quickly." Seeing the tree demon getting closer, the spirit fish was so frightened that her face turned pale. She quickly pulled Yi Chenfeng's hand and wanted to escape. "Don't be afraid. Leave everything to me." The tree demon in front of them might be extremely dangerous, and Yi Chenfeng's current strength was not enough to deal with it. But with the Chaos Divine Wood, he wasn't afraid of the tree demon. He held the spirit fish's ice-cold hand tightly and spoke calmly. "Despicable human! How dare you steal my spirit fruits while I was sleeping? I will suck your blood dry and kill you." The tree demon let out a human-like roar. Thousands of roots as black as ink broke through the hard mountain, forming a prison of roots, trapping Yi Chenfeng and Yi Qintang inside. Chaos Divine Wood. Just as the tree demon trapped Yi Chenfeng and the spirit fish and was about to launch a fatal attack on them, the Chaos Divine Wood appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body and released a glaring 5-colored light. What kind of spirit wood is this?" The tree demon, who had spiritual wisdom, instinctively felt fear when it saw the Chaos Divine Wood. It forgot to attack for a moment. "Chaos Divine Wood, devour!" While the tree demon was still in fear, the chaos divine wood condensed a large number of 5-colored roots and stabbed into the root prison like sharp swords. It crazily absorbed the spirit energy contained in the root. In the blink of an eye, a large number of roots were sucked dry by the chaos divine wood and completely withered. When the wind blew, they turned into dust and scattered with the wind. Despicable humans, I'll let you go today. After seeing how terrifying the chaos divine wood was, the tree demon did not dare to stay any longer. It quickly collected the remaining roots and swayed its lush tree crown as it escaped at an extremely fast speed. Big brother, you're so powerful. You managed to chase away such a powerful tree demon. When the spirit fish saw the ferocious tree demon turn around and escape, it let out a long sigh of relief and said excitedly. The moment the chaos divine wood appeared, the spirit fish was attracted by the spirit energy released by the chaos divine wood. It became closer to Yi Chunfeng and had a feeling that it did not want to leave him. Let's go, spirit fish. Let's leave this place. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng led the spirit fish out of the humid valley and came to the periphery of the forest. At this time, the sun was setting in the west and the sky was gradually darkening. The dazzling sunset reflected the sky red. Big brother, it's getting late. I have to go. The spirit fish raised its head and looked at the sunset in the sky and said reluctantly, Spirit fish, this forest is a little dangerous, and my injuries are too serious. I want to go with you to recuperate. Is that okay? Yi Chunfeng thought for a while and asked, Big brother, I'm only a servant disciple in the mysterious underworld sect. If you go with me, you might suffer. The spirit fish bit her lips and said, It's okay. I'm not afraid of suffering. I just want to find a safe place to recuperate. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, After knowing the spirit fish's situation in the mysterious underworld sect, Yi Chunfeng was secretly happy. The worse her sense of belonging to the mysterious underworld sect, the more likely she would go with him. Okay then, let's go. The spirit fish hesitated for a while before bringing Yi Chunfeng out of the humid forest and back to the mysterious underworld sect in the night. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 510. The mysterious underworld sect was one of the 3 major factions in the western continent's Black Nether County. It was a 6th-grade sect and was located at the edge of the Black Nether mountain range. It controlled a large area of cultivation resources in the Black Nether County. Big Brother Chingfeng, the mysterious underworld sect, is in front of us. I will bring you in through the side door. As long as we are not discovered, it is the safest place to recuperate. The spirit fish pointed at the brightly lit sects that occupied a large area in the dark sky and said softly, Don't worry. Don't worry. As long as I don't want to be discovered, no one will be able to discover me. Yi Chunfeng might not have recovered from his injuries and was far from being a match for the reverse beast king, but his soul spirit was unprecedentedly powerful. Under the cover of his soul spirit, he would be able to detect even the slightest movement. Therefore, he was not afraid of being exposed. Yi Chunfeng followed the spirit fish to the huge courtyard wall of the mysterious underworld sect. Through the lush shrubs, he found a gap that was half the height of a person. The spirit fish usually used this gap to enter and exit the mysterious underworld sect. After passing through this gap, Yi Chunfeng followed the spirit fish into the mysterious underworld sect that was shrouded in darkness. They arrived at the outskirts of the mysterious underworld sect, where the servant disciples lived. It was a somewhat messy courtyard. Big Brother Chingfeng, my room is in front. Other than me, there is no one else in the room. Normally, as long as you hide inside and recuperate, no one will discover you. The spirit fish pointed at a dilapidated stone house in front of them. And there is someone in the room. Yi Chunfeng followed the spirit fish's finger and looked at the stone house she lived in. However, he felt that there was someone hiding their presence in the dark stone house. It was obvious that this person was plotting something against the spirit fish. However, he did not point it out and followed the spirit fish into the stone house. But the moment Yi Chunfeng and the spirit fish entered the stone house, a white light suddenly lit up and illuminated the dark stone house. A man in a black robe with a malicious expression on his face, a level 1 mystic beast ancestor, was holding a moonstone in his hand. He was looking at the delicate and cute spiritual fish with a faint smile. However, when the man in black saw Yi Chunfeng behind the spiritual fish, the smile on his face froze. A strong murderous aura emanated from his body and locked onto him. "Lingyu, how dare you? Not only did you leave the sect without permission, but you even brought an outsider to our mysterious underworld sect. Do you believe that I will report this to Elder Chu and get him to punish you?" The black-clothed man's face darkened as he threatened coldly. "Su Mingwei, why are you in my room? Besides, you don't have to worry about my business." Lingyu gritted her teeth as she glared at the black-robed man. However, there was a trace of panic in her eyes. "Lingyu, I'm giving you one last chance. Be obedient and dual cultivate with me. This way, not only can I help you keep your secret, I can also give you some benefits. Otherwise, you can just wait for Elder Chu's punishment." Su Mingwei noticed the panic in the spiritual fish's eyes. He revealed a smug smile and threatened. However, Yi Chunfeng, who was severely injured and had a weak aura, was completely ignored by him. "You!" Hearing Su Mingwei's shameless conditions, the spiritual fish's face turned red. She couldn't wait to strangle this disgusting person to death. "Don't be anxious. Leave everything to me." Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and walked towards Su Mingwei with heavy step. "Why? Do you want to fight? Do you know the consequences of fighting here?" Seeing Yi Chunfeng walking over step by step, Su Mingwei revealed a disdainful smile and rudely warned Yi Chunfeng. "Extreme ancient heavenly water, ice seal." As soon as Su Mingwei finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng ignored the injuries on his body and forcefully released a trace of the extreme ancient heavenly water's power to attack Su Mingwei. Although Yi Chunfeng was severely injured and couldn't unleash the full power of the extreme ancient heavenly water, Su Mingwei was only a grade 1 mystic beast ancestor. He couldn't withstand the extreme ancient heavenly water's ice seal at all. In the blink of an eye, Su Mingwei was frozen into an ice sculpture by the extreme ancient heavenly water. He revealed a terrified expression and lost his ability to move. Soul Search. After freezing Su Mingwei, Yi Chunfeng immediately released his powerful soul force into Su Mingwei's soul spirit. He forcefully searched Su Mingwei's soul spirit and obtained all his soul spirit memories. And this Su Mingwei's identity is not bad. It suits me perfectly. After forcefully obtaining Su Mingwei's soul spirit memories, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile. Su Mingwei was an outer sect disciple of the Stygian underworld sect. He had a reclusive personality and was extremely shrewd. Although his strength was one of the best among the outer sect disciples, he didn't reveal his true strength. He was only waiting to accumulate enough strength to soar to the top. Furthermore, Su Mingwei didn't have any special background or friends. He was a loner and was very suitable for Yi Chunfeng to disguise himself as. Illusion Dao Pattern. Yi Chunfeng stared at Su Mingwei for a few minutes. 20 illusion Dao patterns appeared on his body and fused into his face, transforming into Su Mingwei's appearance. Unless someone in the Stygian underworld sect had a stronger soul spirit than Yi Chunfeng, they wouldn't be able to see through Yi Chunfeng's face that was transformed by the 20 illusion Dao patterns. Big Brother Chunfeng, seeing Yi Chunfeng turn into Su Mingwei, the spirit fish was so shocked that its eyes widened and its mouth gaped open as it exclaimed, "This should be safe, right?" Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said, Finishing his statement, Yi Chunfeng forcefully released a wisp of black blazing heavenly fire and injected it into Su Mingwei's body through the eyes. It immediately burned Su Mingwei into ashes and disappeared from this world forever. Alright, spirit fish. Don't be shocked. I am going to recuperate. You should eat the 1,000-year-old spiritual herb and rest early. Finishing his statement, Yi Chunfeng walked to a corner of the room and sat cross-legged on the cold ground. He controlled the life Tao pattern to continue his recuperation and heal his injuries bit by bit. Time passed day by day. Because of Yi Chunfeng's continuous supply of 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs, the spirit fish wasn't afraid of starving and was able to eat until it was full every day. Other than doing some odd jobs, it would spend the rest of its time sleeping and absorbing the spiritual energy contained in the 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs. In the past 10 days, the spirit fish had eaten no less than 50 stalks of extremely precious 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs. However, her body was like a bottomless pit. No matter how many 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs she ate, she couldn't activate the power of her bloodline. Even her strength was increasing at an extremely slow rate. She was only at the level of a Class 6 Heaven Beast Immortal. However, Yi Chunfeng knew that the greater the potential of the bloodline, the harder it was to activate it. Hence, he wasn't in a hurry and took out all the spiritual herbs that he had stashed away. The relationship between Yi Chunfeng and the spiritual fish was also getting closer and closer as they interacted with each other every day. Buzz, buzz. On the 12th day, Yi Chunfeng disguised himself as Su Mingwei and hid in the Stygian underworld sect to recuperate. When he had recovered 1/3 of his injuries, the communication pearl in his pocket suddenly vibrated. Outer Sect Disciple Competition. The first place will be rewarded with a mortal essence fruit. After hearing the message from the communication pearl, Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. He was slightly interested in the mortal essence fruit. The mortal essence fruit didn't have a strong spirituality and was far inferior to the 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs that Yi Chunfeng had collected. However, the mortal essence fruit had a miraculous effect, which was to protect one's meridians. If Yi Chunfeng could obtain the mortal essence fruit, he could use the spirituality of the mortal essence fruit to protect his newly recovered meridians. He could then consume the aqua fire dragon fruit and use the powerful spiritual energy of the aqua fire dragon fruit to completely recover from his injuries. Tomorrow, I will witness the strength of this Stygian underworld sect's genius disciple. I hope he won't disappoint me. Yi Chunfeng's mouth curved up slightly and revealed a faint smile. His eyes revealed confidence as if the entire world was under his control. Fourth update, requesting Red Envelope's mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 511. The first rays of the morning sun shone brightly in the east. The dark sky shook off the black veil and ushered in a brand new day. Early in the morning, Yi Chunfeng, who had disguised himself as Su Mingwei, and Ling Yu, who was wearing a coarse robe, arrived at the outer sect of the mysterious underworld sect. Brother Chunfeng, you have yet to recover from your injuries. You must be careful. Don't try to be brave. Also, don't expose your identity. Otherwise, you will lose your life. Ling Yu did not know Yi Chunfeng's true strength. She was afraid that something would happen to him, so she warned him softly. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said confidently. The outer sect competition of the mysterious underworld sect was not a one-on-one competition. It was a test of one's combat strength. The location of the competition was the mysterious spirit cave, and it was a test of one's speed. The first person to break out of the mysterious spirit cave would be the champion of the outer sect competition. The top 5 would be promoted to inner sect disciple and receive generous reward. Interesting. I wonder what's so special about the mysterious spirit cave. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly as he thought to himself. Although he felt that the mysterious spirit cave competition was not simple, it was not a threat to Yi Chunfeng, who had recovered 1/3 of his injuries. If he wanted to, he could break the speed record of the mysterious spirit cave. A level 4 dark beast ancestor. I did not expect there to be such an expert among the outer sect disciples. Yi Chunfeng stood in the spacious plaza and scanned the outer sect disciples of the profound underworld sect. Unexpectedly, he found a young man in a white robe. He stood out from the crowd and had an arrogant expression on his face. He immediately searched Su Mingwei's soul memories. Shirmoku, the number 1 outer sect disciple of the mysterious underworld sect. He was arrogant and overbearing. He was talented and had reached level 4 dark beast ancestor after 35 years of cultivation. If Shirmoku did not have a feud with an inner sect disciple, he would have entered the inner sect with his talent and strength. Although Shirmoku was strong, Yi Chunfeng could kill the reverse beast king in seconds with 1/3 of his recovered strength, let alone Shirmoku, who was only a level 4 dark beast ancestor. This is the outer sect of the profound underworld sect, who allowed a servant disciple like you to come here. Just as Yi Chunfeng and the spirit fish were standing at the edge of the square, waiting in silence for the Xianling Caves competition to begin, a cold voice sounded and entered Yi Chunfeng and the spirit fish's ears. I asked her to come. Do you have a problem with that? Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly and slowly turned around. He saw a burly man in a khaki-colored martial arts suit. He was a level 2 mystic beast ancestor with thick hair all over his body. He was walking over with an oppressive aura. Guo Xiaohai. Looking at this burly man who was stirring up trouble, Yi Chunfeng immediately recognized him. He was Su Mingwei's enemy in the outer sect, Guo Xiaohai. Judging from the aura he emitted, he had already broken through to the 2nd level of the mystic beast ancestor realm. Su Mingwei, I find that you are becoming more and more arrogant. Do you think that the inner sect disciple position is already in the bag? Guo Xiaohai coldly snorted and spoke without any trace of politeness. You don't need to worry about whether or not I can become an inner sect disciple. However, I'm afraid that you won't be able to participate in the Xianling Caves competition, much less become an inner sect disciple. Yi Chunfeng ignored Guo Xiaohai's oppressive aura and spoke in a domineering manner. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed and appeared in front of Guo Xiaohai as if he had teleported. He sent a punch at Guo Xiaohai's chest. You're courting death. Guo Xiaohai didn't think that Yi Chunfeng would be so bold as to attack him in front of everyone. He was instantly enraged. A strong red-furred gorilla appeared on his body and roared at Yi Chunfeng. Mighty Vajra Fist. Guo Xiaohai channeled all the soul power in his body into his right fist. A dazzling golden light gushed out from his fist, and a terrifying fist aura blasted out as he met the incoming attack head-on. Kacha! The 2 fists collided and the crisp sound of bones breaking rang out. Guo Xiaohai's fist, which was filled with soul power, was shattered by Yi Chunfeng's punch. The powerful force broke his arm, and the white bone directly pierced through his skin. When it was exposed to the air, it made people's hair stand on end. After breaking Guo Xiaohai's right arm with one punch, Yi Chunfeng followed up with another attack. His palm that was filled with millions of pounds fiercely pressed onto Guo Xiaohai's chest. That one palm caused Guo Xiaohai's ribs to cave in and he spat out a large amount of blood. Guo Xiaohai's entire body was like a kite with a broken string. He drew a beautiful arc in the air and heavily fell onto the ground. He couldn't crawl back up for a long time. What? When did Su Mingwei become so strong? He was able to heavily injure a second-rank Xian beast ancestor Guo Xiaohai in just 2 moves. This year's Outer Sect Disciple competition is going to be interesting. I just don't know what rank Su Mingwei will obtain in the end. This Su Mingwei really hid his strength well. However, compared to Shirmoku, there is still a large gap in strength. The first place of this year's Outer Sect Disciple Competition will definitely be Shirmoku. That's right. The number 1 disciple in the Outer Sect is not just for show. Witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng heavily injuring Guo the entire Outer Sect square was in an uproar. The Outer Sect disciples who were waiting for the Xianling cave to open were all discussing it. Shirmoku, who was known as the number 1 disciple in the Outer Sect, also cast his gaze towards Yi Chunfeng. Rays of light shot out from his deep eyes. After a short interlude, the noisy Outer Sect square gradually returned to normal. After about half an hour, a tall old man wearing a black martial arts suit with white hair appeared with a few Outer Sect elders. Looking at the old man in the black robe, Ling Yu's expression changed slightly. She immediately hid behind Yi Chunfeng. It was obvious that she was afraid of this old man in the black robe. This old man in the black robe was the person in charge of the Outer Sect of the Xianming sect. He was Elder Hu, who was at the peak of a level 6 Xian beast ancestor. Everyone, quiet down. Today is the day of the Outer Sect Disciple Competition that occurs once every 3 years. However, this year's competition is different from the previous years. This year's competition is not about individual combat strength, but overall strength. As for the location of the competition, it will be one of the 3 mysterious caves of the Xianming sect, the Xianling cave. Elder Hu stood in the middle of the square and introduced the rules of the competition with a deep voice. Alright, those who are going to participate in the Xianling cave competition, follow me. After announcing the rules of the Xianling cave competition, Elder Hu immediately brought more than 100 Outer Sect disciples to the back mountain of the Xianming sect. They arrived outside the Xianling cave that was sealed by a formation. Open. Standing outside the Xianling cave, Elder Hu took out a hexagonal formation plate and poured a large amount of soul power into it. Suddenly, rays of white light shot out from the hexagonal formation plate and merged into the seal, opening the Xianling cave. This Xianling cave competition will last for 3 hours. The first disciple to emerge from the Xianling cave will be the number 1 disciple of the Outer Sect competition. The reward will be a mortal energy fruit. Alright, I will now announce that the Outer Sect disciple competition has officially begun. Everyone can begin to break through the Xianling cave. I will wait for you at the end of the Xianling cave. Elder Hu announced loudly. So, as soon as Elder Hu finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng, Shirmoku, and the rest of the disciples flew into the profound spirit cave like arrows that had been released from a bow. The cave was filled with a cold and gloomy aura. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 512. Get out of my way. Shirmoku, who was in the middle of the crowd, roared, and a huge unicorn lizard appeared on his body. A terrifying soul force gushed out like a tidal wave and bombarded the surroundings, directly sending a few profound underworld sect's disciples who were close to him flying away. His arrogant and domineering aura was fully displayed. Swimming snake finger. Seeing that Shirmoku had broken out of the encirclement and rushed to the front, a gray-clothed man with a scar at the corner of his eye appeared behind Shirmoku. He was a level 3 mystic beast great master, and his hair fluttered in the wind. He gave off an unruly feeling, and his strength was at level 3 mystic beast great master. He turned into an afterimage and appeared behind Shirmoku. Streams of dark green fingerlight danced in the air like snakes, attacking a few of Shirmoku's major acupuncture points. You're courting death. Feeling the danger behind him, Shirmoku's body started to spin like a top and formed a strong whirlwind which directly destroyed the swimming snake finger that the gray-clothed man had shot out. Heartbreaker finger. After the swimming snake finger was easily destroyed by Shirmoku, the gray-clothed man immediately changed his move. All the soul force in his body crazily fused into his right index finger. Streaks of bright white light shot out from the tip of his finger and crushed the air as he pointed at Shur-Moku's spinning whirlpool. Kacha kacha! Following the cracking sounds, the spinning whirlpool was destroyed by the gray-clothed man's finger, and a powerful finger energy shot towards Shur-Moku's chest like a hot knife through butter. He wanted to pierce through Shur-Moku's chest with one finger. At this critical moment, Shur-Moku did not panic. The universe ring on his finger lit up with a beam of black light. A low-grade heaven-grade longsword with a huge gem embedded in it appeared in his hand like a spirit snake. Shur-Moku swung his sword forward. Bang! The gray-clothed man's heartbreaker finger was pierced through by Shur-Moku's sword. The extremely sharp sword light pierced through the air and attacked his chest at an extremely fast speed. Low-rank heaven-tier longsword. Feeling the grade of the spirit snake sword in Shur-Moku's hand, the gray-clothed man's expression changed greatly. He used a very strange footwork and forcefully dodged Shur-Moku's sword light attack. Spectral Ghost Sword. The moment the gray-clothed man dodged, Shimoku unleashed his powerful soul skill. Streaks of dark green sword light fanned out and enveloped the gray-clothed man, sealing off all of his escape routes. The sword light slashed towards his body like a ghost wailing and a wolf howling. Caught off guard, the gray-robed man was struck by Shur-Moku's ghost sword. A large amount of blood spurted out from his body. His entire body fell heavily into the crowd, severely injured. If you don't want anything to happen to you, stay where you are and don't move. Whoever dares to surpass me will end up like you. Shur-Moku held the spirit snake sword in his hand as he pointed at the outer sect disciples of the mysterious underworld sect who had ugly expressions on their faces and warned them in an arrogant and overbearing manner. Looking at the arrogant Shur-Moku, none of the profound underworld sect's disciples dared to say anything. The 2 level 3 profound beast sect's disciples had gathered their courage several times, but in the end, they did not dare to provoke him. All of a sudden, the outer court disciples of the mysterious underworld sect were stunned. None of them dared to surpass him and compete for the first place in the outer court competition. Arrogant enough, but your strength is a bit lacking. Yi Chunfeng, who was mixed in the crowd, looked at the arrogant Shur-Moku and revealed a trace of a cold smile. Just as he was about to turn around and leave, he suddenly walked out. What, Su Mingwei? Do you want to challenge me? Seeing Yi Chunfeng suddenly walk out, Shur-Moku's pupils immediately shrank into the most dangerous pinholes. A terrifying killing intent leaked out from his body and locked onto Yi Chunfeng. Right now, Shur-Moku was like a demonic beast staring at its prey. No one dared to look at him directly. Sorry, but you are not worthy of being challenged by me, Yi Chunfeng coldly said. You're courting death. Shur-Moku did not think that Yi Chunfeng would be even more arrogant than him. Not only did he ignore his warning, he even mocked him in front of everyone. With a furious roar, his killing intent surged as he slashed out a crescent sword arc towards Yi Chunfeng. Shape-shifting phantom. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was about to be hit by the crescent sword arc, he suddenly shook his body and instantly transformed into several shadows, dodging Shur-Moku's sword arc and mysteriously appeared behind him. Spectral Ghost Sword. After missing his attack, Shur-Moku immediately reacted. His body twisted in an unbelievable angle and in a flash, he slashed out dozens of sharp sword rays, enveloping Yi Chunfeng. Break! Dozens of sword rays swept towards Yi Chunfeng. He quickly took a step forward, his foot cracked the ground under his feet and threw out a powerful punch towards the sword rays. Boom! The terrifying fist brought with it an unparalleled destructive power. That one punch broke through dozens of sword rays and hit the spirit snake sword in Shur-Moku's hand. The powerful fist passed through the spirit snake sword and into Shur-Moku's hand, causing his arm to go numb. The chi and blood in his body violently churned. What? When did he become so powerful? When Yi Chunfeng had defeated Guo Xiaohai, Shimoku had not put him in his eyes at all. But when he truly fought with Yi Chunfeng, Shimoku finally understood how terrifying Yi Chunfeng was. He was a huge threat to himself. Not only was Shimoku shocked, the hundreds of outer disciples of the mysterious underworld sect were also shocked. The way they looked at Yi Chunfeng was constantly changing. Just as he was retreating, Yi Chunfeng continued to use the shape-shifting phantom technique, increasing his speed by several times. He launched a tidal wave of attacks towards him, completely suppressing Shimoku's attack. Die for me. His attack being suppressed completely enraged the proud and arrogant Shimoku. He roared like an angry lion, and his entire body merged with the spirit snake sword, turning into a gigantic sword light that was like a spirit snake. It cut through layers of air, and carried a terrifying sword aura as it slashed towards Yi Chunfeng. Shimoku, you can give up your position as the #1 disciple of the outer sect today. Yi Chunfeng roared. His fist, which was filled with millions of kilograms of weight, was infused with his powerful soul force as it ruthlessly smashed into the snake-like sword ray. Boom! Boom! 2 deafening explosions sounded out. Shimoku's sword ray had been destroyed by Yi Chunfeng's fist. The terrifying fist energy smashed into Shimoku's body, breaking through his body's defenses and sending him flying. He heavily crashed into the cave wall, causing cracks to appear on the wall. Strong, too strong. I didn't think that Su Mingwei had hidden his strength so deeply. Even Shimoku is not his match. It seems like the #1 disciple of this year's outer sect competition will be him. Although Su Mingwei is strong, Shimoku should still have some trump cards that he hasn't used yet. It's still too early to say who will win. Seeing the scene of Yi Chunfeng sending Shimoku flying with one fist, the disciples who were hiding in the distance started to discuss among themselves. Whoosh! After sending Shimoku flying with one fist, Yi Chunfeng did not follow up with another attack. He used Form Displacement Phantom and quickly rushed into the pitch-black Xianling cave. Su Mingwei, I swear, I will definitely kill you. Shimoku broke free from the cave wall and used his sleeve to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth. He consumed a precious heaven-level soul pill and quickly chased after Yi Chunfeng. At this moment, Shimoku had completely gone mad. He only wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng to wash away the humiliation that he had just suffered. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Shimoku quickly appeared in the central region of the Xianling cave, a large amount of illusory energy appeared in the space and enveloped the two of them. In this illusory space, the two of them fought again. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 513. Shimoku, if you continue to pester me, then don't blame me for wasting you. Even though the illusory energy within the profound spirit cave was extraordinary, it didn't pose any threat to Yi Chunfeng. Under the suppression of the illusory Tao insight, the illusory energy that permeated the space was completely isolated. Even though Shimoku didn't comprehend the illusory Tao insight, his martial Tao heart was unprecedentedly strong. Coupled with the clear spirit stone on his neck, it constantly helped him dissolve the erosion of the illusory energy. Spirit Snake Sword. Shimoku didn't pay attention to Yi Chunfeng's warning. His entire body once again merged with the Spirit Snake Sword, transforming into a nearly 5-meter-long Spirit Snake Sword as he slashed towards Yi Chunfeng. Looks like you won't cry until you see the coffin. Since it's like this, then don't blame me for being impolite. Yi Chunfeng didn't take Shimoku's sword head-on. His body slightly flashed and transformed into an afterimage as he brushed past the descending spirit snake sword and approached Shimoku, whose expression had changed slightly. He grabbed onto Shimoku's shoulder. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng's body exploded with a force of a few million pounds, instantly exceeding the endurance of Shirmoku's body. He forcefully pulled Shirmoku up from the ground like pulling out a carrot. With a beautiful shoulder throw, he fiercely threw Shirmoku onto the ground. Sounds of bones breaking resounded from within his body as a large amount of blood sprayed out from his mouth. Just as Shirmoku was in a daze from the fall and his entire body was in intense pain, another clear sound of bones breaking resounded. Yi Chunfeng stomped on his ankle, and the powerful force directly shattered his ankle bone. The immense pain caused him to let out a painful howl that sounded like a pig being slaughtered, and it reverberated throughout the entire profound spirit cave. Shirmoku was the number 1 outer court disciple of the profound spirit sect after all. Yi Chunfeng didn't kill him in front of everyone. Instead, he broke both of his ankles and knocked him out with a palm strike. After dealing with his most advantageous competitor, Yi Chunfeng continued to pass through the illusory space and rushed towards the end of the profound spirit cave. During the process of entering the profound spirit cave, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul sensed that there were a lot of formation patterns and restrictions hidden in the cave. However, the power of these restrictions was limited, so they posed no threat to him at all. Yi Chunfeng slightly slowed down the speed at which he was charging through the cave, and intentionally activated the formation patterns to avoid the attacks of the formation patterns. About 3 hours later, Yi Chunfeng dodged hundreds of array pattern attacks and made it to the end of the Xianling cave. He was the first to leave the Xianling cave and completed the test. Yes, first place belongs to Su Mingwei, not Shirmoku. When Elder Hu was guarding the end of the profound spirit cave, saw Yi Chunfeng being the first to rush out, he raised his eyebrows and revealed a look of surprise. He couldn't believe that Shirmoku, who was the strongest among all of them, would lose to Su Mingwei, who was a grade 1 mystic beast ancestor. Could it be that something happened in the profound spirit cave and Shirmoku was besieged, allowing Su Mingwei to take advantage of the situation? Elder Hu guessed. After another incense stick's worth of time, 2 grade 3 mystic beast ancestors came out of the profound spirit cave. They were covered in wounds and looked somewhat miserable. They had obtained 2nd and 3rd place respectively. Just what happened to Shirmoku? With his strength as a grade 4 mystic beast ancestor, he wasn't able to get into the top 3. Elder Hu frowned. As time passed, more and more outer sect disciples finished the test and left the profound spirit cave. But among these disciples, Shirmoku, who had been favored by Elder Hu, was not among them. Something must have happened to Shirmoku. Although Elder Hu and Shirmoku were not related to each other, he intended to cultivate Shirmoku, who was talented and had a bright future, into his trusted aide. Now that Shirmoku was in trouble in the Xianling cave, it made Elder Hu very angry. Go into the profound spirit cave and see what happened to Shirmoku. There was still an incense stick's worth of time until the end of the test. Elder Hu couldn't sit still any longer. Before the test ended, he immediately ordered people to enter the profound spirit cave to search for Shirmoku's whereabouts. Very quickly, Shirmoku, whose ankle had been broken and who had fainted due to excessive blood loss, was carried out of the profound spirit cave. Who was it? Who did this? Elder Hu was enraged when he saw Shirmoku's miserable state. His sharp eyes swept over the disciples as he loudly questioned them. It was me. Yi Chunfeng, who had been sitting cross-legged on the ground, slowly stood up. He was neither haughty nor humble. Su Mingwei, you have enmity with Shirmoku. Why did you do this? Seeing Yi Chunfeng's cold and arrogant expression without the slightest trace of fear, Elder Hu frowned and icily asked. If it was in the past, Yi Chunfeng would have been severely punished by Elder Hu for wantonly injuring someone that Elder Hu fancied. But today, Yi Chunfeng had won first place in the outer sect competition and had also heavily injured Shirmoku. The talent and sharpness that he had displayed had caused Elder Hu's thoughts to change. No enmity. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, "He stopped me from getting first place. Naturally, I had to retaliate. A first-rank Xian Beast Master defeating a fourth-rank Xian Beast Master. It seems like you must have had a fortuitous encounter." Elder Hu's eyes shot out rays of fiery light. Yi Chunfeng's sharp eyes caught the hint of greed hidden in Elder Hu's eyes. However, there was no change in his expression. If Elder Hu really did not know what was good for him, he wouldn't mind killing Elder Hu and sending him to hell. Bring Sher Moku to treat his injuries. No matter what price we have to pay, we must heal his injuries. Do not leave behind any sequelae, Elder Hu ordered coldly as he shifted his gaze away from Yi Chunfeng. Yes, Elder Hu. After speaking, 2 outer sect protectors of the profound Xian sect carried the unconscious Sher Moku and left. Time passed minute by minute, second by second, and soon 6 hours had passed. After 6 hours of competition, a total of 37 outer sect disciples had made it out of the profound spirit cave. Among them, Yi Chunfeng had won first place. However, the early favorite Sher Moku had been eliminated. This made many people's jaws drop. Su Mingwei, this is your reward. After the outer sect competition ended, Elder Hu took out a milky white peach-sized mortal origin fruit from his yin and yang ring. It emitted traces of spiritual qi and gave it to Yi Chunfeng as a reward. Thank you, Elder Hu. Yi Chunfeng took the mortal origin fruit and softly thanked Elder Hu. This is the inner sect token. You have won first place in the outer sect competition. You have the qualifications to directly enter the inner sect and become an inner sect disciple. Elder Hu gave a sparkling green token to Yi Chunfeng. After rewarding Yi Chunfeng, Elder Hu rewarded each disciple according to their ranking. Alright, the outer sect competition has ended. Those who have obtained the qualifications to enter the inner sect can enter the inner sect tomorrow to receive cultivation resources. Elder Hu announced loudly. Wait, Su Mingwei, I have something to talk to you about. Come with me. Just as Yi Chunfeng turned to leave, and was about to find a safe place to refine the mortal origin fruit and water fire dragon fruit to recover from his injuries, Elder Hu's eyes flashed with malice as he suddenly called out to him. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 514. Elder Hu, may I know why you are looking for me? Yi Chunfeng slightly frowned and slowly turned around. He looked at Elder Hu, who was hiding greed in his eyes, and softly asked, You will know once you follow me. After speaking, Elder Hu brought Yi Chunfeng to the place where he had been cultivating for hundreds of years. It was located in a quiet courtyard beside a small lake. Sit. Elder Hu activated the restrictions in the courtyard and sat down with Yi Chunfeng under an ancient tree that was more than 1,000 years old. It was luxuriant and would require dozens of people to wrap their arms around it. Elder Hu personally poured a cup of dark green tea for Yi Chunfeng. Su Mingwei, I didn't expect that a hidden dragon like you was hidden in the outer sect. Elder Hu took a sip of tea and leisurely said, Elder Hu is too kind, I am just a little lucky. Yi Chunfeng slightly smiled and said in a neither arrogant nor humble manner, Lucky. Elder Hu's eyes lit up and said, Su Mingwei, I am very curious. What kind of fortuitous encounter did you have in the past few years? Why do you have such terrifying combat strength when you are only a first-grade Xian beast ancestor? Even Sher Moku was not your opponent. My apologies, Elder Hu, this involves some of my secrets. Please forgive me for keeping it a secret. Yi Chunfeng raised his teacup and took a sip of tea before slowly saying. When the dark green tea flowed into Yi Chunfeng's body, he slightly frowned. His powerful perception detected a colorless and odorless poison in the green tea. Su Mingwei, I will not beat around the bush with you. I am very interested in the secrets on your body. I wonder if you are willing to give it to me. As long as you give me the secrets on your body, I promise to provide you with unimaginable cultivation resources and support you. Seeing Yi Chunfeng drink the tea, Elder Hu's smile became even wider. He revealed his true colors and said greedily, "What if I am not willing?" Yi Chunfeng used his finger to gently turn the teacup and faced Elder Hu's burning gaze as he asked with neither joy nor sorrow. "Su Mingwei, you don't seem to have the right to choose. If you don't want to, I can only search your soul and forcibly extract the great secret from you." Elder Hu did not expect Yi Chunfeng to reject him. His face instantly darkened as he threatened coldly. "Elder Hu, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave." Yi Chunfeng ignored Elder Hu's threat. He raised his head and drank the tea in the teacup. "Do you think you can leave?" Elder Hu revealed a cruel smile and said, "Do you know what was in the tea you drank? Is there poison in the tea?" Yi Chunfeng asked calmly. "Yes, you know that there's poison in the tea." Elder Hu raised his eyebrows. He looked at Yi Chunfeng's stern face and said with some surprise, "I knew there was poison in the tea the moment I took the first sip," Yi Chunfeng said. "Then why did you drink him dry?" Elder Hu said with a gloomy face. He had an inexplicable bad feeling in his heart. "Because I was thirsty." Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and said in a playful manner, "Su Mingwei, do you know the consequences of angering me?" Elder Hu did not expect Yi Chunfeng to be so daring and actually dare to tease him in front of everyone. A soaring, baleful aura was released from his body. He locked onto Yi Chunfeng and said in a low voice, "What? If you want to fight, I'm afraid you're not my opponent." Yi Chunfeng ignored the baleful aura released by Elder Hu. He stood on the spot like a steel spear and said with an incomparably tyrannical tone, "Ha ha, Su Mingwei, I find that you are really naive and cute. With your strength of a first-rank Xian beast ancestor, you still want to defeat me?" Elder Hu seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. He arrogantly laughed and said with disdain, "How would I know if I don't try?" Yi Chunfeng's eyes shot out a sharp light. A terrifying killing intent instantly emerged from his body and spread in all directions with his body as the center. It caused the air in the courtyard to seem to have solidified. It was so oppressive that it made people unable to breathe. And, feeling Yi Chunfeng's killing intent that was accumulated from blood and bones, the smile on Elder Hu's face instantly froze. His eyes were wide open and he didn't dare to believe that Yi Chunfeng was actually able to release a killing intent that could disturb his state of mind. Just when Elder Hu was in shock, Yi Chunfeng made his move. He brought along a suffocating pressure as he approached Elder Hu. He blasted a fist towards Elder Hu's chest. The terrifying fist radiance brought with it an unparalleled sense of oppression, leaving a long streak of white light in the air. The terrifying power caused Elder Hu's expression to change drastically. He hurriedly took out a low-grade heaven-tier dark gold staff to defend himself. Netherworld's heaven-raising staff. Holding the dark gold staff in his hand, Elder Hu burst out with his strongest soul power. An endless amount of green radiance was reflected from the dark gold staff. It was like a pillar that supported the heavens as it ruthlessly collided with Yi Chunfeng's fist. Ka ka ka! The two powerful forces collided together. The dark gold staff in Elder Hu's hand couldn't withstand Yi Chunfeng's attack and was immediately bent into a crescent shape. A large number of cracks were spreading on the dark gold staff. The terrifying vibrations transmitted into Elder Hu's arms, causing him to almost lose his grip on the dark gold staff. What? How can he have such a terrifying attack power? After personally witnessing Yi Chunfeng shattering the dark gold staff with a single punch, Elder Hu was so shocked that his eyes widened. It was as if he had seen a ghost. "No, you are not Su Mingwei." Thinking that if Su Mingwei really had such terrifying strength, he wouldn't be unknown and be willing to stay in the outer sect. There was only one possibility for him to hide his strength, and that was that he wasn't the real Su Mingwei. You are very smart, but you have realized it too late. The corner of Yi Qinfeng's mouth rose slightly, revealing a cold smile. His entire body continued to explode with astonishing strength as he attacked Elder Hu like a tidal wave, completely suppressing him. Because Elder Hu's courtyard was covered with a powerful restriction formation, Yi Qinfeng and Elder Hu's intense battle was completely blocked off by the formation. No one knew what was happening inside. You cannot kill me. Many people know that you followed me to this courtyard to cultivate. If something happens to me, they will be the first to suspect you. At that time, the profound underworld sect will definitely kill you to avenge me. But if you let me go, I swear that I will keep your secret. Surrounded by danger, Elder Hu, who only had the strength to resist, was terrified. He loudly shouted, wanting to use the profound underworld sect to pressure Yi Qinfeng and fight for a chance to live. Sorry, I only believe in the dead. Yi Qinfeng remained unmoved. Taking advantage of the fact that Elder Hu's aura was in disorder and he was retreating in defeat, he stomped on the hard ground and used his killing move. Great Sun Skyfire Fist. The fire Dao pattern and the black flame heavenly fire gushed out from his body and gathered in his right fist. He blasted out a destructive fist light that was like a red sun. It exploded layers of air and shattered Elder Hu's physical defense with a single punch before blasting into his body. No. Elder Hu let out a roar of despair as his entire body was blasted by the Great Sun Skyfire Fist, turning into minced meat. He died on the spot. After using all his strength to kill Elder Hu, Yi Qinfeng took away his belongings and released the black skyfire, burning everything and destroying all traces. Subsequently, Yi Qinfeng took out Elder Hu's communication pearl and imitated his voice. He informed several outer sect elders that he was in seclusion and strictly ordered them not to disturb him. After doing all this, Yi Qinfeng peacefully adjusted his aura in the courtyard. When night fell, he left the courtyard that was filled with the smell of blood and came to the back mountain of the profound underworld sect. He was preparing to consume the mortal essence fruit and the water fire dragon fruit to heal his injuries. Please check the address of the latest book. Chivalry Network. You can read the latest chapters of this book. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 5:15. The night was quiet and a cool breeze was blowing. The cold moonlight shone on the forest, giving the forest some visibility in the dark. And this place is not bad. It's quieter. I'll eat the mortal fruit and water dragon fruit here. Yi Qinfeng concealed his presence and traveled through the netherworld back mountain at top speed for more than 2 hours. He came to the depths of the mountain and found a quiet lake. He went into the lush reeds beside the lake and took out the milky white mortal fruit, which was emitting a refreshing fragrance, and swallowed it whole. After swallowing the mortal essence fruit, Yi Qinfeng immediately felt a viscous spiritual energy covering his entire body, completely enveloping the weak meridians that he had just recovered. This mortal fruit is indeed magical. Feeling the changes in his body, Yi Qinfeng revealed a faint smile. He took out the water dragon fruit that was tamed by the golden clear dragon bloodlion for more than 100,000 years. It was an extremely high-quality water dragon fruit. When Yi Qinfeng dispelled the formation restriction around the aqua dragon fruit, the power of water and fire was released from the aqua dragon fruit. It filled the void and formed a wisp of faint green smoke that resembled a swimming dragon. Boss, the spirituality in this water dragon fruit is not to be underestimated. You must not push yourself too hard. Otherwise, you will suffer a backlash from the spirituality released by the water dragon fruit and be seriously injured. The Chaos Divine Beast appeared in Yi Qinfeng's body and reminded him seriously. I know what I'm doing. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said, Hun Dun, protect me. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng summoned the 100 crystal primal chaos diagram and enveloped himself, sealing the space around him. Black Skyfire, refine. Although the water dragon fruit came from the heaven domain and was full of spiritual energy, there were still some impurities in its flesh. Yi Chunfeng did not eat the whole fruit. Instead, he released the black Skyfire to refine it, removing the impurities and refining it into liquid essence. Roar. While Yi Chunfeng was refining the water fire dragon fruit, a faint dragon's roar resounded within the fruit. Vaguely, Yi Chunfeng seemed to see a majestic divine dragon soaring within the water fire dragon fruit, overlooking all living things, making people want to worship it. This water fire dragon fruit is indeed a spiritual item that was nurtured in the heaven domain. Just the spiritual energy it exudes is enough to make one feel relaxed and happy. It surpasses the average heaven-level soul pellet. If I were to completely absorb it, not only would I be able to heal my injuries, but I would also be able to increase my strength. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and inhaled the spiritual energy released by the water fire dragon fruit. Immediately, his spirit was shaken. Under the full power of the black flame heavenly fire, the aqua dragon fruit was completely melted. The impurities it contained were also burned into ashes by the black flame heavenly fire. About 6 hours later, the water fire dragon fruit turned into a puddle of red and blue spirit liquid without any impurities. Huff, it's done. Yi Chunfeng let out a long sigh of relief and drank a mouthful of the water of heavenly secrets to recover his exhausted soul power. He controlled the black flame heavenly fire to split the red and blue spirit liquid into 1/10 and swallowed it bit by bit. After swallowing the pure spirit liquid refined from the water fire dragon fruit, Yi Chunfeng immediately felt a pure spirit energy being released from his body. It was like a wild horse that had escaped its reins and was running amok through his meridians. Fortunately, Yi Chunfeng's meridians were wrapped by the sticky spirit energy from the mortal essence fruit. He was able to completely withstand the violent spirit energy from the water fire dragon fruit. Primal chaos divine wood, suppress. Soul devouring art, refine. Feeling that the spirit energy released by the water fire dragon fruit in his body was getting more and more violent, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the primal chaos divine wood to suppress it. He controlled the soul devouring art to quickly refine it, replenishing his depleted body and healing his injuries. Under the nourishment of the water fire dragon fruit's spirit energy, Yi Chunfeng's injuries slowly improved. His depleted body potential and blood energy were also slowly replenished. On the 5th day, Yi Chunfeng had refined half of the water fire dragon fruit's spirit energy. His injuries were basically healed, and powerful soul power once again filled his body. I've finally recovered from my injuries. Feeling that he had finally recovered to his peak condition, Yi Chunfeng let out a long sigh of relief. He revealed a faint smile and continued to refine the remaining spirit energy from the water fire dragon fruit to increase his strength. Just as Yi Chunfeng was refining the water fire dragon fruit in the depths of the mysterious spirit mountain range, 2 uninvited guests appeared. One of them was Shirmoku, who had suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of Yi Chunfeng in the mysterious spirit cave. He was severely injured and lost everything. Moku, don't be depressed. A momentary failure is nothing. I believe that with your talent and aptitude, you will definitely be able to soar to the sky and become an outstanding person. As for that Su Mingwei, you don't have to worry. If he dares to hurt you, I will definitely make him pay the price in blood. Beside Shirmoku, there was a woman wearing a green silk short skirt. Her skin was as smooth as milk, and her legs were long and straight. Her appearance was not bad, but there was a trace of hostility between her eyebrows. Her strength was close to that of a rank 6 mystic beast ancestor. No need, I will personally take this revenge. I will crush all the bones in his body bit by bit, and let him slowly die in regret. Shirmoku had basically recovered from his injuries, but his confidence had been greatly damaged. He clenched his fists and swore viciously, "But I need your help now." "What kind of help?" The woman in green looked at Shirmoku and asked softly. "I want a blue soul heavenly pellet." Shirmoku said softly, "With a blue soul heavenly pellet, I am confident that I can break through to rank 5 mystic beast ancestor within a month. At that time, I will be able to crush that bastard Su Mingwei to death." Blue soul heavenly pellet. The woman in green gently bit her alluring red lips and said, "Okay, within 10 days at the latest, I will definitely find a way to help you exchange for a blue soul heavenly pellet from the inner sect." The blue soul heavenly pellet was an extremely valuable heaven-grade spirit pellet. There were not many of them in the entire mysterious underworld sect, and the exchange requirements were even more outrageous. However, the woman in green who was deeply in love with Shirmoku still agreed. "Thank you, Luluo. I will definitely not let you down in the future." Shimoku smiled and gently hugged the woman in the green dress into his arms. His 2 big hands roughly reached into her dress and caressed her smooth and delicate back. Very quickly, the beautiful woman in green with watery eyes let out a soft gasp. Her boiling hot body was like a snake wriggling in Shirmoku's embrace. Little by little, the fire in Shirmoku's heart was ignited. Just as the two of them were intensely in love with each other, intending to use the sky as a blanket and the earth as a bed, a faintly discernible dragon's roar accompanied by a powerful aura came from the depths of the mountain range. "What's that sound?" Shirmoku raised his eyebrows and looked towards the depths of the mysterious underworld mountain range. His eyes shone brightly. "Could it be that a treasure has appeared?" "Moku, don't stop. Let's continue." The woman in green with misty eyes opened her rosy lips slightly and bit Shirmoku's ear. She was extremely tempting as she begged. "Opportunities do not wait for people. Let's go over there and take a look first. If I remember correctly, there is a lake in the mountain ahead. Perhaps there really is a great opportunity in that lake." Shirmoku was a very ambitious person. He suppressed the fire in his heart and pulled his hand away from the woman in green's hot body as he suggested this. Then alright. Seeing that Shirmoku had lost interest, the woman in green could only stop and obediently follow him to the lake in the mountain. However, when Shirmoku and the woman in green arrived at the lake in the mountain and saw the figure walking out of the lake, Shirmoku was suddenly stunned. Immediately after, a surge of killing intent erupted from his body like a volcano. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 516. Su Mingwei, I didn't expect to meet you here. It seems like you have obtained the opportunity in the lake. Shimoku, who exuded a sharp killing intent, glared angrily at Yi Chenfeng, who was slowly walking out of the reed marsh, and spoke with a murderous look. I also didn't expect to meet you here. After refining the aqua dragon fruit, Yi Chenfeng's soul force was almost overflowing. He was one step away from becoming a Class 4 defiant beast king. He ignored Shirmoku's murderous gaze and spoke emotionlessly. Moku, let's attack together. With our strength, we can definitely kill him. At that time, everything on him will be ours. The green-dressed lady took out a low-grade heaven-tier green sword and transmitted her voice to Shirmoku. All right, let's attack together. Thinking back to the dragon's roar just now, Shirmoku felt that Yi Chenfeng should have obtained a great opportunity in the lake. If he had obtained such an opportunity, he wouldn't even need the Jade Soul Heavenly Pill to break through to the 5th level of the Mystic Beast Ancestor Realm, or even higher. Su Mingwei, today we will settle our old and new grudges together. I will definitely chop off your dog head and send you to hell. As he spoke, Shirmoku took out his low-grade heaven-tier spirit snake sword and attacked Yi Chenfeng together with the green-dressed lady. Buzz! A large amount of sword light shot out, overlapping and engulfing the heaven and earth. It sealed off Yi Chunfeng's space to dodge and pierce towards his body. Shirmoku and the green-dressed lady's attacks were extremely sharp. Especially the sword light of the green-dressed lady. It was filled with 100% sword aura and had extremely strong destructive power. However, Yi Chunfeng's physical defense was comparable to a high-grade heaven tier. Facing their attacks, he didn't dodge and allowed the overlapping sword light to hit his body. It hit. Seeing that his attack had hit Yi Chunfeng, Shirmoku raised his brows and revealed a surprised and ecstatic expression. He didn't expect that Yi Chunfeng didn't dodge their attacks. Su Mingwei, your fortune is mine. With your secrets, I'll definitely be able to break through to the reverse Beast King realm. Shimoku's eyes flashed with a fierce light. He was already imagining how he could torture Yi Chunfeng and get the big secret from him. However, when the sharp sword wind dissipated, the smiles on the faces of Shirmoku and the lady in green suddenly froze. Their eyes widened, as if they had seen a ghost. How could this be? Why isn't he injured? Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who had an arrogant expression on his face and was completely unharmed, Shimoku and the lady in green could not believe what they were seeing. They could not believe that Yi Chunfeng's physical body defense was so powerful that it could easily block their attack. Shirmoku, you think you can kill me with this little bit of strength? Said Yi Chunfeng disdainfully as he stared coldly at Shirmoku and Shirmohun, whose faces had turned pale with fright. Moku, this Su Mingwei has hidden his strength too deeply. We're not his match. Let's leave this place first. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's terrifying strength, the lady in green became timid and hastily transmitted. Alright, let's go. Although he was unwilling, Shirmoku knew that with the strength Yi Chunfeng had just displayed, he truly did not have a chance to kill him. Continuing to stay here would only put him in danger. Do you think you can leave? Yi Chunfeng sneered. Lightning flashed beneath his feet, blocking the two of them. Pow! A crisp sound of a slap rang out. Yi Chunfeng's right palm, which was filled with the power of 1,000,000 pounds, landed on Shimo's right face. Shimo's face caved in from the slap. His entire body flew out and landed heavily on the ground. 10,000 slaughter ghost sword. Seeing Shirmoku being sent flying by Yi Chunfeng's slap, the lady in green did not hesitate to ignite her blood chi. Her entire body merged with the green sword in her hand, transforming into a 6-meter-long sword of light. Bringing with it a shocking killing chi, she slashed it at Yi Chunfeng. 3,000,000 gene of strength, break! Yi Chunfeng roared, and the power of the spiritual pearl in his Shenmen acupoint exploded. 3,000,000 gene of force gushed out, turning into a huge fist aura. With an insufferably arrogant attitude, it ruthlessly smashed into the descending light sword. Kacha! The green sword of light was shattered by Yi Chunfeng's punch. The powerful fist aura shattered the sword of light, but its power did not decrease. It fiercely bombarded the body of the woman in the green dress, who could not dodge in time. It broke through her body's defense and sent her flying with a punch. How can he be so strong? Witnessing this scene, Shirmoku felt as if he was in a dream. A huge fear rose in his heart. In order to survive, he had selfishly abandoned the lady in green and turned to flee. Shirmoku, didn't you want to kill me? Why are you running? Yi Chunfeng's body flashed, and with a speed several times faster than Shirmoku's, he blocked his path. Su Mingwei, I have no enmity with you. Can you let me go? If you let me go, I promise I won't be your enemy in the future. When Shirmoku saw Yi Chunfeng blocking his way, he became timid. Beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. His tone was much weaker as he begged Yi Chunfeng with a pleading tone. If we switched places, would you let me go? Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly, and he spoke without the slightest emotion. Moku, I'll cover you. Run. Just as Shirmoku had sunk into a state of terror and did not know what to do, the lady in green ignored her injuries and quickly rushed over, blocking in front of Shirmoku. Is it worth it to die for such a heartless person? Yi Chunfeng softly asked the lady in green. Her face was pale and blood was dripping from the corner of her mouth, but her eyes were filled with fearlessness. Humph, my grandfather is one of the 3 protectors of the profound underworld sect. If you dare kill me, my grandfather will definitely exterminate your entire family. The lady in green coldly snorted and gave a warning. You won't be able to save him. He'll definitely die today. Yi Chunfeng ignored her threat. Moku, run! When the lady in green saw that Yi Chunfeng did not care about her background at all and was determined to kill Moku, her expression changed. She shouted loudly and continued to attack Yi Chunfeng without caring about her own safety. She wanted to hold him back. But the instant the lady in green attacked with all her strength, Moku's eyes shone with a trace of decisiveness. He had selfishly abandoned her and fled for his life. Sigh, I hope you can open your eyes in your next life. He's not worth you using your life to protect him. Although the lady in green's righteousness and fearlessness had moved Yi Chunfeng, he would never show mercy to his enemies. A sharp finger radiance shot out like a meteor that streaked across the sky and landed on the forehead of the green-dressed woman. Bang! The lady's head exploded from Yi Chunfeng's finger, and a large amount of blood splattered across the ground. She died on the spot. After killing her, Yi Chunfeng's body blurred, and he turned into a ray of light that chased after the panicked Moku. In just 3 breaths' time, Yi Chunfeng caught up to him. Moku, you can go to hell now. A fist radiance with a force of 1,000,000 pounds flew out and landed on Moku's back. Following the sound of bones breaking, Moku's body was pierced by Yi Chunfeng's fist. He painfully fell into a pool of blood and died. After killing Moku and Moku, Yi Chunfeng released his black heavenly flame to melt their corpses. After destroying the corpses, he quickly left. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the bookmark button at the bottom to record this book. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 517. In the dead of the night, only the chirping of insects could be heard. Lingyu, are you asleep? Walking in the dark night, Yi Chunfeng arrived at the room where the spirit fish lived. He knocked on the door and called out softly. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice, Lingyu, who had been worried about his safety, quickly ran over with her bare feet. She opened the door and welcomed him in. Brother Chunfeng, where have you been these days? I was so worried. Lingyu poured a cup of water for Yi Chunfeng and asked softly. I have been recuperating in the Nether Mountain Range for the past few days. Now I have fully recovered. Yi Chunfeng did not hide his whereabouts and said softly, Oh right, Lingyu, did anything happen in the mysterious underworld sect these few days? Why are there so many lanterns and decorations? It seems very lively. The day after tomorrow is the birthday banquet of the mysterious underworld sect master. At that time, the 2 overlords of the dark underworld county, Illusion Palace and Sky Silkworm Ridge, will send their experts to congratulate him. Lingyu said softly. The birthday banquet of the mysterious underworld sect master is so grand. Cultivators had extremely long lifespans. They did not place as much importance on their birthdays as mortals. Yi Chunfeng was puzzled. I heard that the birthday banquet is only one aspect. It seems that they are also discussing the Dragon Lake Sacred City competition. Ling Yu's status in the mysterious underworld sect was very low. She only knew about this news when she was doing odd jobs. However, she did not know much about it. Dragon Lake Sacred City competition. Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. He had a trace of interest. Ling Yu, these 5,000-year-old spiritual herbs are for you. Cultivate well. I will come to see you in a few days. Yi Chunfeng left 5 precious 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs for Ling Yu and left her stone house. He went directly to the inner sect to inquire about the Dragon Lake Sacred City competition. Although it was Yi Chunfeng's first time in the inner sect of the mysterious underworld sect and did not know anyone, he still used more than 100 mid-grade soul crystals to inquire about the Dragon Lake Sacred City competition. The competition in the Western Continent's Dragon Lake Sacred City was the same as the competition in the Northern Spirit Domain's Ancient Sky City. It was the highest level of martial arts competition in each continent. Almost all the forces in the Western Continent would send their genius disciples to participate. There was also a huge secret hidden in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City, and that was the mysterious Dragon Abyss. Legend had it that the Dragon Abyss was a dragon's lair, and a divine dragon had once appeared in it. However, no one knew if the legend was true, because the Dragon Abyss had not appeared for more than 100,000 years, and no one had ever entered the deepest part of the Dragon Abyss. Mo Fengyun, you made the Azure Ice Mountain conspire against the ancient heavenly palace in the ancient sky city of my northern spiritual region, disrupting the order of my northern spiritual region. Should I also give you a big gift? Yi Qianfeng's lips curled into a cold smile when he found out the truth of the Longyuan Sacred City. He was extremely interested in the upcoming Longyuan Sacred City martial arts competition. However, in order to participate in the Longyuan Sacred City martial arts competition, Yi Qianfeng had to obtain an identity. After pondering for a while, Yi Qianfeng decided to stay in the profound underworld sect for a while and find a way to obtain the qualification to represent the profound underworld sect in the Longyuan Sacred City martial arts competition. After making his decision, Yi Qianfeng found the elder in charge of the daily affairs of the inner sect and gave him his inner sect identity token. After receiving some cultivation resources, he was assigned to a secluded cultivation courtyard. After arriving at his own cultivation courtyard, Yi Qianfeng immediately chose to go into seclusion. Although Yi Qianfeng was only one step away from breaking through to the rank 4 Defiant Beast King realm, he had used up all of his top-grade origin treasures. It would be difficult for him to take the final step and break through to the next realm in a short period of time. After pondering for a while, Yi Qianfeng decided to use the limited time to cultivate the fifth move of the Seven Swords of Judgment. He wanted to further increase his attack power and prepare for the Longyuan Sacred City martial arts competition. The Seven Swords of Judgment was a mid-grade Dao skill that had been passed down in the spirit tribe for hundreds of millions of years. The requirements to cultivate it were extremely high. However, Yi Qianfeng's strength was comparable to an emperor. It was enough for him to cultivate the fifth move of the Seven Swords of Judgment, Heaven's Bane. With the help of the God-devouring brain, Yi Qianfeng's understanding of the fifth move of the Seven Swords of Judgment deepened. After a night of deduction, Yi Qianfeng had a basic understanding of the trajectory of the Heaven's Bane attack and the point of eruption of power. However, if he wanted to fully unleash the Heaven's Bane attack, he still needed to master it in the real world and cultivate it well. Whoosh! Yi Qianfeng's body flashed slightly. Like a ghost, he left the mysterious underworld sect and arrived at the mysterious underworld mountains again. He found a secluded valley and hid in it to cultivate the fifth move of the Seven Swords of Judgment, Heaven's Bane. Although Yi Qianfeng had laid down tens of thousands of array patterns in the valley and sealed the entire valley, the attack power of the Heaven's Bane was too terrifying. The Heaven's Bane power was constantly destroying the array patterns in the valley, causing the entire valley to tremble violently. Yi Qianfeng cultivated from dawn to night. His understanding of the fifth move of the Seven Swords of Judgment was getting deeper and deeper. He was getting more and more comfortable with it. Heaven Dao pattern, Sword Dao pattern, Thunder Dao pattern, and Fire Dao pattern fuse. Feeling that he had already grasped the true essence of the sky-shattering sword, Yi Qianfeng immediately fused the four great offensive Dao intents he had comprehended into the ruler armament. A shocking sword soared into the sky, directly tearing apart the dome of heaven. Seven Swords of Judgment, Heaven's Bane. As the sword slashed out, the boundless destructive power of the Heaven's Bane tore apart the sea of clouds in the sky and tore the firmament apart. The firmament was in chaos. As far as the eye could see, the sky seemed to have been completely torn apart by this sword. The terrifying spatial crack extended for thousands of feet. For a moment, the sky changed color, thunder roared, and divine might shook the heavens. Just as Yi Chunfeng erupted with his 4 great offensive Dao insights and slashed out the sky-shattering sword strike that shattered the heavens, in a mountain valley behind the profound underworld sect that had a picturesque scenery that was like spring all year round and seemed like a paradise, a woman who wore an emerald-green dress scattered with flowers that outlined her voluptuous figure enchanting and move. Her sexy and plump lips revealed a myriad of flirtatious expressions at all times. She suddenly opened her charming eyes and revealed an expression of shock. What happened in the mysterious underworld mountains? Who broke into the back mountain of my mysterious underworld sect? The beautiful woman frowned as she looked into the distance. She could vaguely see a tiny spatial crack in the boundless firmament. This woman, who exuded a mature charm and looked like a peach, was the sect master of the mysterious underworld sect, Shui Yorua, a Class 5 defiant beast king. Swish! Sensing that something big had happened in the mysterious underworld mountains, Shui Yorua's body flashed as she summoned her soul wings and flew over at an extremely fast speed. However, when she arrived at the valley where Yi Chunfeng was cultivating the 5th move of the 7 Swords of Judgment, she could only see the crisscrossing sword scars left behind by the sword. She couldn't find any trace of Yi Chunfeng. Yorua, what exactly happened here? Who was here just now? Just as Shui Yorua was releasing her powerful soul power to search for clues in the valley, a charming old lady with slightly white hair appeared and asked in a low voice. She was wearing a Taoist robe with phoenix patterns on it, and her hair was slightly white. This old woman in a phoenix-patterned robe was Shui Yorua's master, the previous sect master of the mysterious underworld sect, Shui Honghen, a Class 5 defiant beast king. Master, I came late and didn't find that person. However, judging from the terrifying power left behind in the spatial crack, that person's attack power is extremely terrifying. I'm afraid that person is at the level of an emperor, Shui Yorua said in a serious tone. An emperor? Shui Honghen's expression changed as she whispered, why would an emperor appear in my mysterious underworld sect? Maybe that person was just passing by and happened to be cultivating in my mysterious underworld sect's territory, Shui Yorua said softly. Sigh, I hope so. Shui Honghen sighed softly as her face was filled with worry. Since they couldn't find any clues, Shui Yorua and Shui Honghen, who were worried, left together. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 518. Early in the morning, the mist drifted with the wind in the Xianming sect. The Xianming sect was decorated with lanterns and colored banners, making it look like a fairyland. The Palace Lord of the Illusion Destroyer Palace is here to congratulate you. A crisp voice broke the silence. Several huge heavenly beasts flapped their huge wings, stirring up a hurricane as they flew into the Xianming sect. Haha, Sect Lord Shui, congratulations! The Palace Lord of the Illusion Destroyer Palace, Shangguan Hong, who was wearing a dark golden martial arts suit, jumped off the flying heavenly beast and walked to Shui Yoru. He laughed and congratulated her. Thank you, Sect Lord Shangguan. Everyone, please come in. Shui Yorua, who was wearing a bright red Chong Sam embroidered with phoenix patterns, which outlined her plump and mature body, exuded a charming charm. She pursed her lips and answered with a smile. Then, she personally led Shangguan Hong and the others into the Xianming Hall, which was hung with bright red silk. Not long after the Illusion Destroyer Palace arrived, one of the 3 overlords of the Xianming County, Sect Lord Qi Tianshui, also came with his sect's genius experts to congratulate them. Congratulations, Sect Lord Shangguan. Judging from your aura, I'm afraid you will be able to break through to the Grade 6 Reverse Beast King realm in a few years. Qi Tianshui, the sect lord of the Sky Silkworm Ridge, who was wearing a brown martial arts suit, had a thin body, long black hair, and a black beard around his mouth. He gave off an unrestrained feeling. Sect Lord Qi, you are flattering me. Your aura is so much thicker than mine. I guess you will be able to take that difficult step before me. Shui Yorua pursed her lips and smiled. She then led the Sky Silkworm Ridge to the Xianming Hall. After the arrival of the Illusion Destroyer Palace and Sky Silkworm Ridge's experts, some Grade 4 and Grade 5 sects in the Xianming County also came with generous gifts. Soon, the entire Xianming sect became unprecedentedly lively. Hearing the congratulations, Shui Yorua did not feel happy at all. That mysterious martial emperor was like a thorn in Shui Yorua's heart. She was full of anxiety and worry, afraid that something unexpected would happen. Wow, so many big shots came today. Look, that young man wearing a sky blue martial arts suit and holding a snakeskin long sword is Shangguan Haoqin, the #1 genius of Illusion Destroyer Palace, who is known as one of the 3 heroes of Black Abyss County, along with our senior brother. He has already reached the 2nd level of Beast King. He is Shangguan Haoqin. He is so handsome. I wonder what kind of girl is worthy of him. Although Shangguan Haoqin is strong, I think the #1 genius of Heavenly Silkworm Ridge, Ziyun, is stronger. I heard that Ziyun is 1 step away from becoming a 2nd-level Beast King. He once killed a 4th-level Beast King. Is this for real? A Level 2 Defiant Beast King killed a Level 4 Defiant Beast King? How terrifying is Ziyun's talent! The strength of such a peerless genius is not something we can imagine. I wonder if there will be a competition between the top geniuses at the sect leader's birthday banquet. According to past practice, there will definitely be a competition. I hope that eldest senior brother will be able to show disdain for all the heroes and strengthen the profound underworld sect's prestige. The inner sect disciples gathered outside the mysterious underworld sect. They looked at the top geniuses of the various forces and whispered to each other. Their eyes were filled with envy and yearning. Birthday banquet competition. Yi Chunfeng, who was standing in an inconspicuous corner with Ling Yu, heard the discussions of the disciples. His eyebrows rose slightly and he smiled. As the experts of the various forces arrived, the banquet began. During the banquet, Shui Yorua, Shang Guanhong, and Qi Tianshui were constantly communicating through sound transmission. They were discussing the martial arts competition that was about to begin. After 3 rounds of drinking, the atmosphere of the banquet reached its peak. The competition between the geniuses of the various forces began. In order to promote the foundation of their sects and display their strength, the geniuses of the various forces went up to compete. They used all their skills and fiercely fought, winning the cheers of the entire hall. Sea River Palace's Jiang Wusong wins. A tall and straight young man wearing a dark blue martial arts suit and holding a silver spear with 1 foot in the reverse Beast King realm defeated his opponent with an overwhelming advantage and won the battle. How powerful! This Jiang Wusong actually won 5 rounds in a row. It seems that other than the top geniuses of the 3 great sects, no one else is a match for him. That's right. Looking at how relaxed Jiang Wusong is, he probably still has some strength left. With the talent he displayed, he's definitely going to break through to the defiant Beast King realm. The Sea River Palace is going to be proud now. Looking at the arrogant smile on Jiang Wusong's face, the top prodigies of the 3 major sects didn't care at all. The #1 prodigy of the mysterious underworld sect, Shui Mozong, had a faint smile on his face. He took a sip of tea and said to the young man beside him, who was tall and sturdy and had explosive muscles, "Zi Qi, you will represent the mysterious underworld sect to meet the prodigies of the major sections." "Yes, senior apprentice brother." The burly man held a pair of huge hammers that were at least 5,000 kilograms in weight. With a single leap, He crossed 100 meters and landed on the martial stage like a moving mountain. Look, the mysterious underworld sex genius disciple has arrived. Jing Ziki. He's ranked 3rd in the mysterious underworld sect. I heard his talent is extraordinary. He once used his own strength to kill a first-rank defiant beast king. Another genius with the ability to kill enemies above his level. I wonder if Jiang Wusong can block Jing Ziki's attacks. Seeing Jing Ziki enter the arena, the noisy arena suddenly exploded, and the atmosphere was unprecedentedly enthusiastic. If you can block 3 of my hammers, it'll count as your win, Jing Ziki said domineeringly as he raised his heavy hammer high and pointed at Jiang Wusong, who had just won 3 matches in a row. As soon as Jing Ziki's voice fell, it caused 1,000 ripples and caused an uproar. That was especially true of the Sea River Palace's master. His face was ashen, and his eyes were filled with ruthlessness. All right, I hope you won't regret this. The arrogant Jiang Wusong was infuriated. A huge scorpion appeared on his body, emitting a blinding golden light. Overturn rivers and seas. Jiang Wusong roared, pouring his soul power into the silver spear in his hand. It transformed into a silver flood dragon, roaring like the sea as it attacked Jing Ziki. Break. Facing Jiang Wusong's terrifying spear, Jing Ziki did not dodge. A powerful sound wave erupted from his mouth, and his strength rose steadily. Soon, it reached a strength of 1,000,000 kilograms. At the same time, he smashed down with his heavy hammer. Bang! Bang! After being hit by Jing Ziki's 2 heavy hammers, Jiang Wusong's overturning the seas and rivers spear was broken. The powerful force passed through the silver spear and into Jiang Wusong's arms, causing his arms to go numb. The blood in his body roiled violently, and his whole body was pushed back. It's over. After forcing back Jing Ziki followed up with another attack. His body was like a meteor as he smashed into Jiang Wusong. Boom! Jiang Wusong's body trembled. His silver spear was sent flying by Jing Ziki's all-out attack. As for him, he was sent flying out of the martial stage. 2 moves. Jiang Wusong, who just won 5 rounds in a row, was defeated by Jing Ziki in 2 moves. The geniuses of the 3 great sects really are terrifying. Witnessing this scene, almost all the rank 4 and rank 5 sect geniuses were shocked and exclaimed in surprise. Who else wants to fight? Jing Ziki raised his 10,000-pound hammer high in the air and looked around, arrogantly calling out in a despotic manner. What a boorish fellow! Wearing a purple robe, Zi Yun's eyes were half closed. He gave off an unfathomable feeling. He sneered and revealed a trace of ridicule. Seeing Zi Yun's disdainful expression, a beautiful woman with a full figure, fair skin, and dressed in a dark green martial arts suit slowly stood up. Like a green butterfly, she flew across the sky and landed in front of Jing Ziki. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this book. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 519. Hee Brother Ziki, why don't you let me exchange a few moves with you? The pretty girl in green pursed her lips and smiled. She looked at Jing Ziki, who was a head taller than her, and spoke with a pleasant voice. Okay, then let me experience the heavenly silkworm ridge's abilities. Although the green-clothed woman in front of him seemed harmless, Jing Ziki felt a strong sense of danger from her body. He put away his contempt, and his face showed a trace of dignified expression. Senior Sister Huayu, do your best. Senior Sister Huayu, win for sure. Looking at the girl in green on the stage, the Heavenly Silkworm Ridge disciples were all excited and shouted at the top of their lungs. The disciples of the profound underworld sect were also cheering for Jing Ziki. Their cheers blended together with the noise and reverberated in the air, creating a deafening sound. Brother Ziki, be careful. Huayu reminded him. A pair of low-grade heaven-tier gloves made of ice silk appeared on her hands. A powerful physical pressure was emitted from her body. And, feeling the shocking power from Hua Yu's body, Jing Ziki frowned and revealed a shocked expression. From the aura Hua Yu emitted, he had a feeling that Hua Yu's physical strength had surpassed his. This made him reveal a look of disbelief. Whoosh! An ear-piercing sound rang out. Hua Yu's body turned into an afterimage and closed in on Jing Ziki. She sent out 8 punches that emitted traces of cold qi at his strong body. Jing Ziki immediately reacted to the 8 cold qi punches from Hua Yu. He used his heavy hammers to receive them. Bang! 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 When the 2 powerful attacks collided, a large amount of energy halo surged in the air. Hua Yu looked petite, but her physical strength was not weaker than Jing Ziki's. In addition, the cold qi punches she just sent out were one of his killing moves. They were extremely destructive. In a head-on clash, Hua Yu had a certain advantage and was able to slightly restrain Jing Ziki's attacks. After a round of fierce attacks, Hua Yu followed up with another attack. Her punches became more and more powerful and domineering. She completely suppressed Jing Ziki's attacks and forced him to retreat. Yes, the power of a bloodline. Sect Master Qi, if I'm not wrong, Hua Yu should have a mutated bloodline. Seeing that Jing Ziki's attack was completely suppressed, Shui Yoru revealed a grave expression. She glanced at Qi Tianshui, who was smiling beside her, and asked in a low voice. Patriarch Shui, you're right. Hua Yu has the blood of the heavenly ape. Even though she's only a half-step beast king, her strength is comparable to a second-level beast king. Qi Tianshui nodded and said proudly. Damn it, how can she be so strong? Jing Ziki's arms were numb from Hua Yu's ferocious attacks. Seeing that he had retreated to the edge of the arena, Jing Ziki gritted his teeth and fused with his spiritual beast to the greatest extent, stimulating his strongest potential, trying to turn the situation around. Heavenly Silkworm 5 Styles. While Jing Ziki was fighting with his life on the line, Hua Yu quickly unleashed the Heavenly Silkworm Ridge's ultimate heavenly skill that had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. 5 golden silkworm shadows appeared around her body, turning into 5 shocking fist lights that tore through space. With a series of explosions, they struck towards Jing Ziki's hammers. Not good. The moment Hua Yu unleashed the Heavenly Silkworm 5 moves, Jing Ziki smelled a thick sense of danger, and his face changed drastically. Boom, 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 boom. 5 explosions rang out, and Jing Ziki spat out blood. His body trembled as he was sent flying. At this moment, Jing Ziki felt as if 5 mountains had crashed into his body rapidly. He couldn't hold on anymore, and his body's defenses were shattered. He fell out of the arena and lost the match. So strong. The geniuses of the 3 major sects are indeed not on the same level as us. Their strength is too terrifying. It seems like the first and second personal disciples of the mystic underworld sect are about to enter the arena. If they can't suppress everyone, the mystic underworld sect will lose face this time. Let me deal with her. The second personal disciple of the mystic underworld sect, Chao Yun, was holding a dragon-patterned battle saber. His golden hair was fluttering in the wind, and he was a first-level beast king. Chao Yun, that Hua Yu is not simple. Remember not to underestimate her, or you might lose. The first personal disciple of the mystic underworld sect, Shui Mozong, transmitted a message with a serious expression. He felt a trace of pressure from today's situation. Don't worry, first senior brother. I will definitely defeat her. After speaking, Chao Yun summoned his soul wings and flew into the air, showing off. He landed on the arena. Senior brother Chao Yun, when we fight later, you have to go easy on me. Hua Yu blinked her big eyes at Chao Yun, revealing 2 cute dimples as she spoke with a relaxed expression. Cut the crap. Eat my saber. Chao Yun didn't go easy on her. He held his dragon-patterned battle saber and slashed at Hua Yu. The terrifying saber aura directly split the air, and it was dazzling. Roar. A terrifying beast roar came from Hua Yu's body. She activated her spiritual beast bloodline, and her delicate body flew into the air with shocking destructive power. She faced the dragon-patterned saber light head-on in the air. Kacha, Hua Yu's body erupted with shocking power and broke the dragon-patterned saber light. Next, she used the sky silkworm 5 moves and punched 5 times in the air at Chao Yun. The terrifying fist aura made Chao Yun's expression change slightly, and he had no choice but to dodge. Ice Dao pattern. The moment Chao Yun dodged, Hua Yu quickly landed on the ground and used her killing move. An extremely sharp ice Dao pattern flew out of her body and attacked Chao Yun at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. PFFF. Chao Yun's defense was broken by the ice Dao pattern, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Half of his body was frozen, and he directly fell out of the arena and lost the battle. Ice Dao pattern. Shui Yorua's expression turned extremely ugly. She never expected Hua Yu's strength to be so terrifying. Not only did she have a variant bloodline, but her physical strength was also comparable to a second-rank defiant beast king. She even comprehended the Ice Dao pattern. How can this be? Second senior brother also lost. When did the Sky Silkworm Ridge become so strong? We can only rely on first senior brother. I hope he can turn the tide and suppress the Illusion Destroyer Palace and the Sky Silkworm Ridge's geniuses. Otherwise, our Stygian underworld sect's reputation will be ruined. The Stygian underworld sect's disciples couldn't believe what had just happened. They were like defeated roosters, listless and dispirited. Emo sang, "It's up to you. You can only win, not lose." Shui Yorua took a deep breath and transmitted a message to her proudest disciple, the Stygian underworld sect's #1 genius and a second-rank defiant beast king, Shui Mozong. She gave him a death order. Yes. Shui Mozong nodded and leaped onto the arena. He looked at Hua Yu, who had defeated 2 geniuses of the Stygian underworld sect in succession. "Junior sister, if you're tired, why don't you switch places with me?" The Heavenly Silkworm Ridge's #1 genius, Ziyun, who was also a second-rank defiant beast king, looked at Shui Mozong with high battle intent. "No need. I want to play a little more." Hua Yu shook her head and said fearlessly, "Play. I'll make you pay for that word," Shui Mozong said with a gloomy expression. Flames burned in his heart, and his body emitted a powerful aura that was like a mountain pressing down on Hua Yu's delicate body. Buzz. There was an ear-piercing sword sound. Shui Mozong, whose aura had soared to the limit, held a low-grade heaven artifact heaven sword and launched a fierce attack at Hua Yu. The tide-like attacks were getting stronger and stronger, trying to suppress Hua Yu. Facing Shui Mozong's fierce attacks, Hua Yu didn't retreat. Instead, she activated her spiritual beast bloodline and went all out. For a moment, the entire arena was filled with sword lights and fist forces. There were continuous explosions in the air. It can't be. Eldest senior brother is so strong, but he can't defeat her in one move. The Heavenly Silkworm Ridge is so powerful. This is bad. If this situation continues, even if eldest senior brother wins, he won't be able to withstand the more dangerous battles later. Seeing the changes in the situation, the Stygian underworld sect's disciples were completely disappointed by Hua Yu's strength. Sword-type Dao pattern. After his relentless attacks failed, Shui Mozong used his ultimate move. A sword-type Dao pattern flew out like a bolt of lightning and shot towards Hua Yu. Ice-type Dao pattern. The moment Shui Mozong used his Dao intent, Hua Yu didn't give in and also used her Dao intent to attack. For a moment, the battle between the two became fiercer and fiercer. They used all kinds of techniques, which made many 4th grade and 5th grade factions genius disciples exclaim in joy. On the other hand, the Stygian underworld sect's side was so quiet that it was a little stifling. The development of the situation was completely beyond their expectations. The Heavenly Silkworm Ridge had stolen the limelight. Bang! The two fought fiercely for more than an hour. Shui Mozong finally seized the opportunity when Hua Yu was severely exhausted and her reaction was slow. He broke through her defenses and defeated her. Although Hua Yu lost the battle in the end, Shui Mozong, who was severely exhausted, couldn't withstand the following battles. This put the Stygian underworld sect in an awkward position. Mobile reading site, book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 520. Sect Mistress Shui Mozong is severely exhausted. I'm afraid he won't be able to support himself for the rest of the competition. Is there any other disciple from the mysterious underworld sect? If not, let's end the competition here. Qi Tianshui, who was overflowing with pride, took a sip of green tea and looked at Shui Yorua, who was frowning with a gloomy expression. And Shui Yorua's face turned even uglier when she heard Qi Tianshui's suggestion. If she gave up the competition, it would definitely affect the reputation of the mysterious underworld sect. She would also become the laughing stock of all the major forces in the future. However, if she allowed Shui Mozong to continue, the outcome would be the same. With Shui Mozong's current condition, he was definitely no match for Shangguan Haoqin, the eldest disciple of the Illusion Destroyer Palace, and Ziyun, the eldest disciple of the Sky Silkworm Ridge. Once he was severely injured during the competition, it might affect his performance in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City martial arts competition. At the thought of this, Shui Yorua sighed helplessly in her heart and decided to end the competition in advance. However, at this moment, a deep voice broke the stifling atmosphere and reverberated in the arena. "Sect Mistress, why don't I give it a try?" As he spoke, a tall and straight man wearing a white martial arts suit walked out of the crowd, exuding a confident aura. With a leap, he landed gracefully on the martial arts field. This white-clothed disciple was none other than Yi Chenfeng, who was controlling the illusion Dao pattern and had transformed into Su Mingwei's appearance. If he could display his prowess in this birthday competition and turn the tide, restoring the reputation of the mysterious underworld sect, he would definitely become famous in one battle and obtain the right to represent the mysterious underworld sect in the Dragon Abyss Sacred City martial arts competition. Su Mingwei, stop fooling around. Get out of the arena now. An outer sect elder of the mysterious underworld sect scolded loudly when he saw Su Mingwei recklessly participating in the competition. His face turned gloomy instantly. If Su Mingwei was defeated by the disciples of the two major forces in one move, the mysterious underworld sect would definitely become the laughing stock of all the major forces. This was an outcome that they did not wish to see. At this moment, many elders of the mysterious underworld sect wished they could slap Su Mingwei away to prevent him from embarrassing himself. Haha, this junior's courage is commendable. His boldness alone is much better than the others. Although the relationship between the Illusion Palace and the profound underworld sect seemed to be harmonious, they were actually secretly competing with each other. The Illusion Palace master did not waste this opportunity to attack the profound underworld sect and laughed loudly. "Shangguan too, go and spar with this junior brother." "Yes, sect master." Although Shangguan too was extremely reluctant, he still stood up and summoned his soul wings that emitted a faint red light. He slowly flew to the arena. A level 1 mystic beast sect versus a level 1 defiant beast king. Seeing such a huge difference in strength, many people could tell that Illusion Palace was deliberately humiliating the mystic underworld sect and making them lose face. "Grand Elder, who is that white-clothed disciple?" Shui Yorua asked the first elder, who was beside her, through voice transmission. She had a gloomy expression on her face. "That disciple seems to be called Su Mingwei. He won first place in the outer disciple competition not long ago. He just entered the inner disciple competition not long ago." The Great Elder, whose expression was also ugly, transmitted a message to Su Mingwei. After this banquet, I don't want to see him anymore. A murderous intent flashed in Shui Yurua's eyes as she said coldly, "Yes." The Great Elder of the Mystic Underworld sect nodded. In his heart, he had already sentenced Yi Chenfeng to death. "Make your move. If you can hurt any part of my body, you win." Shangguan Tu, who was wearing a green martial arts suit with his long black hair draped over his shoulders, had a fierce aura. He placed his hands behind his back and looked at Yi Chenfeng coldly. He was deliberately mocking him. "One move. As long as you can block one move of mine, you win." Yi Chenfeng revealed a faint smile and pointed a finger at Shangguan Tu as he spoke arrogantly. Wow! The moment Yi Chenfeng finished his words, the entire arena was in an uproar. Pairs of shocked, stunned, and mocking eyes were cast at him. Many people even thought that they had heard wrongly. And, hearing Yi Chenfeng's domineering voice and seeing the confident smile on his face, Shui Yoru raised her eyebrows. Inexplicably, the mysterious expert who had appeared in the Mystic Underworld sect appeared in her mind. "Ha ha, kid, I find that you are really naive and cute." Shangguan Tu laughed as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. He said, "Okay, I will stand here and not move. Let's see how you are going to defeat me in one move. Then open your eyes wide and watch." Yi Chenfeng's lips curled up slightly. All the muscles and bones in his body vibrated. A powerful force erupted from his body like a volcanic eruption and filled the air, making Shangguan Tu feel suffocated. Bang! A thunderous sound came from under Yi Chenfeng's feet. Like a bolt of lightning, Yi Chenfeng suddenly appeared in front of Shangguan Tu, who sensed danger and whose expression changed drastically. Without any fancy moves, Yi Chenfeng threw a punch at Shangguan Tu's chest. Although Yi Chenfeng didn't use any soul skill in this punch, his punch was filled with 4 million kilograms of force, which was completely out of Shangguan Tu's tolerance range. Not good. Shangguan Tu never dreamed that Yi Chenfeng, who was only a first-rank profound beast ancestor, would be able to throw out such a powerful punch. He decisively channeled the soul power in his body and poured it into his arms, overlapping his palms in front of his chest to meet this punch head-on. When the fist and palm collided, 4 million kilograms of force exploded. The powerful force was like a roaring tide, shattering Shangguan Tu's attack and surging into his body through his arms. Crack! Shangguan Tu couldn't withstand Yi Chenfeng's punch. His arms were directly broken, and his body suffered a heavy blow. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fell out of the arena, losing the match. Witnessing the scene before them, the previously noisy martial arena became completely silent. The eyes of the disciples of the various great powers became sluggish and terrified. They couldn't imagine that Yi Chenfeng, who was only a first-rank profound beast ancestor, could actually defeat Shangguan Tu, who was a first-rank reverse beast king, with one punch. Not to mention seeing such a shocking scene, they had never even heard of it. It could be said that the scene just now was beyond their comprehension. It made them feel like they were in a dream. He won. The profound underworld sect's first elder, who had already sentenced Yi Chenfeng to death in his heart, opened his eyes wide. He looked at Yi Chenfeng as if he was looking at a monster. Maybe this Su Mingwei is really related to that mysterious emperor-level powerhouse. After witnessing Yi Chenfeng's shocking strength, Shui Yorua's eyes revealed a sharp light, revealing a complicated expression. Although Yi Chenfeng's appearance had saved the profound underworld sect from an awkward situation, Shui Yorua didn't know the true purpose and scheme of that emperor. Her heart was filled with worry. "First Elder, I want all the information on that Su Mingwei." Shui Yorua, who was deep in thought, transmitted a message to the First Elder. "Also, don't let anyone know about this matter." "Yes, leave it to me." The First Elder nodded and immediately took out his communication pearl. He sent a message to a few of his trusted aides outside, asking them to secretly gather information. Next, with his hands behind his back, Yi Chunfeng stood in the middle of the arena like a steel spear and said arrogantly. The palace master of the illusion-vanquishing palace, Shangguan Hong, was so angry that his face turned green and his body trembled. What an interesting guy. Let me have a go at you. Shangguan Haoqin, the first disciple of the illusion-vanquishing palace, one of the 3 heroes of the Black Underworld County, and a second-rank reverse beast king, slowly stood up and jumped into the arena. The aura emitted from his body turned into a divine spear, piercing through the air and pointing at Yi Chunfeng. Please check the address of the latest book. Swordsman website. You can read the latest chapter of this book. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.